What's up, citizens of Gotham? Can everybody see and hear me okay? Hello, Bob Swanick, Narwhal, Jay Johnson, Sandra Meyer. Alan. What's up? Let me know if everybody can see and hear me okay. What's that? That's what's putting that thing is there. Okay. Shaving Knuckles for Justice, progressivenews.net. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. You got it. You got it. Yeah, Convo Couch. What's up? What is up, Convo Kizouch? Hello, Jared. You're supposed to be on vacation. I know, I am. I took some days off. Hit the like button. You hear me okay? Everything's good. I can do this show anywhere, so I brought my gear with me, man. I'm somewhere where you got to quarantine for 14 days when you arrive. So that's where I'm doing. Emberg 33. No, stop jumping. Emberg 33, shave your knuckles for justice. Hey, buddy, please read my DMs on Alaska. Yeah, I'm. So what Mark is talking about is the state of Alaska's Green Party broke ranks from the National Green Party and said, we're not going with Howie Hawkins and we're putting Jesse Ventura on the Alaska ballot. So in the state of Alaska, the Green candidate for president is Jesse Ventura, which is huge. And it's a big deal. We've talked about, I did the Movement for a People's Party, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to bring Richard Idris back on the show and get some more details on that. Like I said, I've been traveling and just set up. So you guys like this ring light? Look at that ring light. God, when I get close, I just look like one of those like makeup YouTubers. Just highlight your makeup. So I guess I got to get closer. Hold on. Hello, boom. All right. Hey, stoners. Alaska said screw Howie. Yes. 10 o'clock Eastern. Voltaire. Austin said, nice to you, Graham. Love the message at the People's Party. Oh, so right on. So share this on your social media, everybody. Put this out. Like and subscribe and do all that. But we're going to bring Ron Placone on the program in a jiff. It'll jiffly pop, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about Ron and I were both on the Movement for a People's Party convention, which was really cool. So I'm going to talk to Ron about, his experience doing that. And then we're going to, talk a little bit about the Alaska thing. And then we're going to talk about the ruling. I just retweeted it on my Twitter feed that Edward Snowden, basically, we'll get into it, but basically Edward Snowden's just been vindicated. We'll just leave it there. So it's in these crazy dark times, all of a sudden there's some good news. All right, folks. Wesley, right on. Please move that one bit of hair from your forehead. This one? Well, this I like. That's the Superman. I like that one right there. But if there's like another rogue one, oh God. Well, now you got me all paranoid. I like the little Superman dangle down there. Oh, see, I see which one's driving you nuts. That one right there. Oh, I need a haircut. We're gonna just tuck that one. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to a mirror. I'll be right back. I don't know. That's the best we're gonna get it, folks. It's a little humid here. Um, I saw a cat. I spent enough time checking a box of shit. Ron Placone voting for Biden or Trump. God, fix that hair for justice. This is freedom right up there. Um, all right. Um, the Superman. Been watching for months and realized the Superman looking hot. Well, thank you, BS. I appreciate that. How you doing? That's my George Clooney. How are you? Um, why is he so zoomed in? This is the way I set it up. Usually, I mean, I can go back here a little bit. It just gets a little shadowy back here. And there's no monitor behind me, so there's nothing. I just figured, like, I don't know. Let's get it tight. Let's bring the moneymaker up close, kids. Um, Kyle L. Come, son of Jarrell, kneel before Zod. Hello from Spain. What's up? Buenos dias. Buenos dias. It's in the morning for you. Citizens of the world unite. All right, let's bring Ron. Folks, a great way to support the show is do what Mberg33 did, which is hit the dollar icon button in Super Chat. Your question gets put up there. You can do it for Mberg did it for as little as $1.99. All the money goes to me, helps support the show. It supports what I do. Yeah, so it's a great way to support the show. Buenos dias, mi amigo. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, Ohio. Guten Morgen. Shout out Holly Horn. What's up? What up, Graham? Check out Malaysian politics. I'm for an idea of where we're headed. I'm cooking up big partnerships for my crypto charity project, but still, I'm digging the intimate live selling. Yeah, okay, Sheldon. Yeah, I think you've reached out to me about some crypto stuff before, but yeah, I'm definitely getting more into crypto, and I want to talk more about it. All right, let's Ohio. I said Ohio, which is like I think good morning in Japanese, not the state of Ohio, but hello in Ohio. Bill Benny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here comes Ron. Oh, God. Hold on. Jesus. Hold on. Un momento. Okay. Let's see. Ron Placone, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on. Yeah,
You can't hear me.
I can, but I got to run it through another thing. Hold on a quick second. Hold on.
All right. You run it through that thing, man.
We're going to run it through that thing. Ron,
You
maybe
got
he's going to sing for
you
you.
got the thing. You got the thing. You need to run it through. And I'll be here while Graham's running the thing. Hi everybody. How are we? Hope you're all incredibly well. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all there's Graham. He's walking around here doing his thing. He's getting the thing. That's what he's doing. He's getting the thing. I guess that was the thing. I don't know. But yeah, until he gets back, I'll say hello. I hope look, there's the up. That's he's probably plugging something in. I bet that's what just happened there. You can see, look at it says get your news on. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? It says get your news on with PV. It's like a complete joint show now with like the way my logo's landing on Graham's. Get your news on with political vigilante. That's like the ultimate mesh of the political vigilante and get your news on with Ron. Get your news on with political vigilante. That's what this show has become now. Planting the seed. Yeah, just did that. And there Graham is. But anyway, so yeah, that's happening. And I'm having a good evening. I had dinner. Hope you all did as well. It's some of you it's 10 p.m. where you're at. Some of you it's 7:30 like here where I'm at in California. I didn't have anything prepared. Just waiting on Graham here. He's doing his thing, getting the thing plugged in like he said he was going to. I would have had a guitar or something to do a musing for you or something, but this is my new screen, by the way. I know some of you have seen it, but some of you it might be your first time seeing it. Graham, you're back.
I'm back. I think we got it fixed, buddy. I can now. It's all coming together. I can see and hear you correctly.
Perfect.
All right, we got the split screen. It's all I got this whole new.
It's all happening.
Ron, before I'm going to answer a couple of quick super chats here, and then we're going to get into what happened at our People's Convention.
Hillary style, what happened?
What?
We're going to get into it. Here's what happened.
I have a bag of excuses and platitudes rather than take responsibility for anything I've ever done in my life. Christopher Walker, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Good to see Democracy Now! Showing footage of your friend and high school football teammates speak out on behalf of Jacob Blake. To have former teammates I love. Yeah, it's
that's cool. Your buddy got to be on Democracy Now!
Yeah, I mean it's
that's cool.
Justin, another mutual high school friend of ours talked to Justin, and he's being thrown into the spotlight.
Yeah.
And and of course the right wing is trying to, going to try to paint him family in whatever light. But I'm glad they're speaking out, and he's done several protests from Evanston, where we went to high school, up, and a lot of people from my graduating class, because we were all in the same class of 87, and so a lot of people have been really rallying around Justin and rallying around the hashtag Justice for Jacob, and so that's been cool to see. So I can't begin to know what Justin and his family are going through, but
yeah, no, that's wonderful. I mean, I'm obviously the situation is not wonderful, but it's wonderful that those people are speaking out and that Democracy Now! And other outlets are hearing them out. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's great that Justin and his brother, the father of Jacob Sr., is speaking out as well. And it's like Trump tried to politicize this, and he wanted Jacob Blake here to talk, and Jacob was like, "No, man, I ain't doing that." He said, "No." Like, it's funny because I know Justin and Jacob. I mean, I don't know Jacob personally, but Justin I know, and I'm just like, these guys weren't going to put up with any nonsense before this happened, and now they're in a lot of pain. But they're just not going to put up with any shit. They're just not going to take shit, and nor should they. This is awful what happened, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're speaking up and people are rallying behind them.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. Yeah, absolutely.
So Andrew Dwyer, Andrew, shave your knuckles for justice. Poor Kennedy drowning out the family legacy
for a little bit of better. Did you see that Politico thing? Did you see that headline where they were like, well, by losing, he freed himself? That's like, how Orwellian have we gotten? Hey, losing is winning. War is peace.
So, hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. I'm joined by the host of Get Your News On with Ron Placone.
Hello.
Ron, thank you for joining us today. So Joe Kennedy, whichever something Kennedy, number 5.
I believe it's pronounced the turd, actually. I think that's how you say it.
Joey Threes. He lost, and he was backed by Pelosi, and but his opponent was backed by Our Revolution, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and Ed Markey, he was backed by more grassroots groups. I think he was also backed. I think Schumer endorsed him as well. So it's not like it was completely. I think they kind of had to have some establishment behind him, because otherwise it just would have been so blatantly hypocritical, because they did that. The Democratic Party was all, oh, we're not going to mess with incumbents. Meanwhile, here they go going after Ed Markey, who's an incumbent. So, they had, I think Cory Booker endorsed Markey, and I think Schumer did as well, to kind of, play it up a little bit so it wasn't so in your face and obvious. But Joe Kennedy went up against him. So I guess that whole incumbent thing was just a lie on their part. And of course, Nancy Pelosi backed Joe Kennedy.
Yeah. And it's just, it was 2 years ago that they started sort of trotting out Joe Kennedy the third. And I remember we were doing a Jimmy Dore live at Flappers, and I think Sam Tripoli was on the panel, and he said, bringing back the Kennedy brand is like trying to bring back MySpace.
That's funny. That's really funny.
As much as I, wish the deep state didn't kill JFK and RFK, now it's sort of like they've been pretty co-opted. So I know RFK Jr. is, a pretty decent activist and all that, but when the corporate Democrats start lining up behind somebody, I don't care what your last name is. Their last name could be Elwood, and I just would be like,
Well, and regardless of what his family has done, we know what Joe Kennedy III is. If he was really, and he does pose as a progressive, and I think he's actually fooled some people. Not many, obviously, because he lost, but I think he has fooled some people. But at the end of the day, if he was really concerned about issues like Medicare for All or a Green New Deal, he would be using his name to scream about those things. Right. He'd be screaming like, this party has lost its way. This party has turned its back on working people. My family would be appalled if they could see this. That's what he'd be doing. Instead, what did he use his name to do? He used his name to try to take out one of the more progressive members in the Senate. Is Ed Markey perfect? No, he's not. But he is among the more progressive members of the Senate, and he would definitely be a yes vote for Medicare for All or a Green New Deal.
Yeah, it's such a great point. If Joe Kennedy III said, and really stood up and said, I can't watch the Democratic Party veer this far away from, my family, what they were trying to accomplish, I'm appalled. That would be somebody I would like, okay, now I'm getting behind, you. But instead, like, and I did a video on this 2 years ago. He's invested in all this. He's got all these oil money investments, and
Mm-hmm.
just like you're just another, and it's just more the DNC trying to get their old, out of touch, neoliberal base to go, oh, the Kennedys, yay! Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, no, like, if RFK Jr. wanted to run, that's a guy I might get behind, but I'm not seeing it from this kid. This kid seems more like the the born out of the Martha's Vineyard party circuit type Kennedy, who's just going to do wherever the checkbooks are, rather than like hey, I was born into privilege and I need to do something about it. Like I need to actually do some good. And
Totally. And he has the name to do good if he wanted to. I mean,
right.
there's a million other things. You and I are not politicians, but we can just rattle off the top of our heads all the things he could be doing if he was genuine about actual progressive policies and actual, taking this country in a better direction with the platform that was handed to him by birth. What does he choose to do instead? Try to take out progressive members of the Senate. That tells you all you need to know. He has outed himself for now and forever. Do not ever give this guy the benefit of the doubt. If you were even considering it in the first place, don't do
it. Yeah. So thanks, Joe. We really appreciate that. Emberg 33, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. People's Convention overlapped on Ron's face. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds fun.
There was an after party, Graham, and you weren't there.
Oh man.
And there was a lot of overlapping on. No, I think part of my face was cut off for a little bit when they did the lower third, just from the position of the Zoom. But yeah, it happens.
Well, buddy, you seem like you're kind of in darkness. There's just this black orb floating above your face.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out the lighting, because if I did the way I used to have my lighting, it would just like be these big bright blotches on the screen. So like right now, like I do have one of my lights set up. It's just a little further back. So I'm still tweaking. I think I might have to go like maybe get one of those ring lights or something. I'm still figuring out the best way to have this screen and have the best lighting for the screen. So I haven't found the perfect formula yet.
Having had that screen.
Right.
Specifically, so right now I'm using a ring light, which I can point straight at me, obviously, because there's no screen behind me. But while I had that screen, I rose it up and sort of bounced it off of a white ceiling.
The ring light you did?
Yeah, to give a more even, and kind of got it up out of frame and then point down. So you didn't see, I mean, if you look at my videos closely, you would see like a little slice of the ring, but you can get it above out of frame and then kind of angle it down. Those ring lights are really good because they have an adjustable arm.
Okay. Yeah, so that's probably what I need to do. I just haven't figured out quite the right formula yet, but I don't mind being a little darker, like I don't mind it, but yeah, I got to figure out the right formula.
That's what you're, the mysterious progressive in the dark with a microphone that keeps growing.
Yeah, the microphone keeps growing, and I'm bound to miss a spot shaving most of the time, so I don't mind.
So here's a sort of a preemptive bad shave.
Yeah, this is just like, well, when some people were like, Ron, your face isn't lit enough, I was just like, well, are they saying that's a good thing or a bad thing? They didn't specify. They didn't say like whether or not they were like, Ron, you got a face for radio, and man, if we've been enjoying the show lately, your face is darker now. Like they didn't. So I was like, well, is that good or bad? You didn't tell me. Tell me if that's good or bad.
Hey, Ron, I love your show. Could you wear a hood when you do it? Sheldon Deere, what's up, Sheldon? Shave your knuckles for justice. Hit the button. I meant to send a donation before. What up? Yes, folks, hit the like button. We have 323 people watching. I'm not sure how many likes. Let me bring that up right now on a separate screen. But yeah, hit the like button, folks. And of course, share this out on your social media. It helps. You might be like, well, I don't have a lot of followers, but it's like, it all helps. It all helps. So let me just bring up how many people have hit the like button. Burner, 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 burner. We've got okay, 328 watching, 186 likes. So let's get the likes up to 300, everybody. Like it up. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hello and hope you're well. Talk about this opt-out deal. Are you guys involved? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that is.
What's up, Convo Couch? How you Convo Couchers doing? Are you guys enjoying? Do you guys get a new rice maker? How would I know that? Hold on. I missed a couple. It always sneaks up the super chats. That's the one thing about StreamYard. It kind of jumps around on you. It's a little bit funny.
This feeling is
Shave your knuckles for justice. Can you sing as Granny Petrol, Every Sperm is Sacred with Ron?
I've never heard that. Is that a real song?
Yeah, it's from Monty Python's Meaning of Life or something like that, or I forget.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a funny song.
I've not heard it. Now I got to go listen. I thought at first it might be one of those things where, you know how sometimes they'll take like classic songs and like rock and roll or something and make these Christian versions of them, and they're like really obnoxious. I thought it could have been like Every Rose Has Its Thorn. They rewrote it like every sperm is sacred. None of them can go in a sock. So wait until you're married before you take out your, you know, the thing. Come on.
Yeah, they can't. Some of them can't go in a sock. That's really good.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, they do that. That's the thing they do.
It's like you're a cowboy.
Don't be a cowboy. Now we got to make this. Now we got to make every sperm is sacred to every rose has its thorn.
Oh, it's like I'm so into that. I'm into that. Mark Leahy, what's up, Mark? You're making Gotham great again. How worse will things get leading in 2024? I know the election result is meaningless. You're not excited about Joe Biden? Come on, Mark. Come on. Aren't you excited about these two young, vibrant candidates with exciting new ideas from these two just really inventive political parties that are just thinking differently? Yeah, it's a disaster. I don't know.
Stand-up guys too.
Yeah, both stand-up guys. Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both good guys.
Classy guys.
Good guys. Yeah, I don't know. This is just a train wreck. It's a and watching both those conventions, you know, a couple of weeks ago was just like, wow. So they're basically, as Nick Brana said at the movement thing, he's like, there was two Republican conventions, basically. Yeah. There was the Republican convention, and then there was the sort of alt-right fascist Republican convention. So it's preposterous. I mean, if people are still like holding out for 2024, it's like, yeah, all right, okay, like just keep pushing it down the road. Next, 4 years from now, then we'll get a, you know, we just got to get Bush out of office in 2004, and then we'll finally get it. But now that Obama's in, he's going to do it. And then we win the midterms. He's got control of everything. But the obstructionist Republicans, even though they still could have beat them, well, we're going to blame it on the Republicans. And then it's Obama's second term. That's when he's really going to cut loose. Oh, but then Hillary, she's going to. All right. I can't. Okay.
Guys, I know that you want the rest of the healthcare the industrialized world takes for granted, but it is only 2032, and it's really important we get rid of Cyborg Shaney. Once we get rid of Cyborg Shaney, we can have better things. But in the meantime, you have to vote for the Democratic nominee. So please hold your nose and vote for Colin Powell and get Cyborg Shaney out. And then we'll have progressive change in 2015.
Yeah.
50.
50. Cyborg Cheney. Dick Cheney's AI is running with the eternal soul of Mike Pence, and it's going to be fantastic. Louise Brooks, what's up, Louise? Shave your knuckles for justice. Yeah, Kennedy's campaign went right off a bridge. Nice joke. Nice joke. Matt S, what's up, Matt? Shave. Look how bright and shiny my knuckles are with this ring light.
Yeah, man. I got to get one of those.
Look at the justice, Ron.
I'll never have a bad knuckle shave again.
No, you won't, Ron. I remember doing something stupid as a teenager and getting community service as a slap on the wrist, and I have to question what would have been the outcome if I were black. That's effed with my head. Yeah, Matt, and it's something all of us white people should, especially white guys, should really. We have to ask ourselves that. And let's go back to high school and Justin Blake, my teammate in high school. I got arrested twice as a high school kid, being a knucklehead. One time me and two buddies were shooting bottle rockets out of his car into like fraternity houses at Northwestern University, and the Northwestern Police Department busted us. And they just said, all right, don't do that again. Didn't write us up, told us we had to call our parents to come pick us up because we were underage. And I said, and the cops let us call our own parents. So I was like, all right. And it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And I knew, this is back when we only had a home phone. I was like, if my mom wakes up, she's going to lose her shit. So I called, and then when the cop turned his head away, I hung the phone up and pretended like it was still ringing. And I said before I called, I said, my mom's out of town, so nobody's home. But he goes, you got to try anyway. And so he turned away, and I hung the phone up, but made it seem like it kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And I said, yeah, she's not there. And he goes, all right. And then another buddy's dad picked us up, and he goes, all right, you can go with this dad. That's it. That was what happened to us. That was what happened to us. Because we were like 3 white kids in a, somebody's dad's nice Buick or Cadillac or something like that. The second time I got busted was we had one of those water fire extinguishers, and we were walking up to people, and this is in the summer, walking up to people on the street and saying like, whatever, we'd be on the corner of whatever, Main Street and 5th Street. And we'd go, hey, do you know where the corner of Main and 5th is? And they go, oh, I think it's right here. And we go, and we'd spray them with water because we were assholes. We were punk shitheads. And we did that to somebody, and they jumped in their car, and there was a car chase. Or we sprayed them inside their car, and we went up to Wilmette, which was the next neighboring suburb, which is all white. Evanston is about 40% black. It's been integrated for a long time. So we went to Wilmette, the next suburb north, and the Wilmette police busted us. And the kid driving, they gave him some moving violations, and then they called all of our parents. And they said, they were like, who's under 18? And I raised my hand because that was the truth. And they're like, oh, well, you can't leave, because they were just going to release the 18-year-olds. There was like 5 of us in this car, and like 2 or 3 of my buddies were already 18, and I hadn't turned 18 yet. So they just released the 18-year-olds because, again, we were 5 white kids. And, we were on a football team and the soccer team, and we were clean-cut suburban white kids that were just, and they just gave us the like, boys will be boys speech. Never went on our record, never nothing. They weren't dicks to us. They were just like, all right, what? They didn't immediately roll on us with an attitude and get violent and aggressive with us, which would have made us maybe more aggressive and react, which is exactly. When all of this, especially in the last several months since George Floyd, I've asked myself, how is this different? And again, now, had Justin Blake been with us in the car, and he was one of my teammates, and we went out and did dumb, and he just happened to be out with us one night, or just him and all of my black teammates, 5, all did the exact same thing, but they were 5 black kids, the reaction would have been completely different.
Yeah.
And that right there is systemic racism. The fact that nothing happened to us, that's systemic racism right there. And they would have gotten all kinds of trouble. I mean, so right there is such and Matt, I'm glad that you are waking up to this. We all, like, as white people, need to really wake up to how messed up this is, and Look at the 17-year-old kid in Kenosha who's murdered. He's a murderer. And they show, when they portray Jacob Blake, they portray him as, criminal record and this and that. And then they show the 17-year-old, the New York Post did you saw the two photos? The New York Post shows the white kid. He's cleaning up graffiti. Well, they didn't report that was community service. Again, so he got to do community service.
They talked about his aspirations.
Yes.
It's amazing. When they shoot a black person, they list everything wrong that person has ever done in their life, no matter how hard they have to fish to come up with something. When a white person kills people, they list their aspirations. They're like, he wanted to be a cop. Really?
Of course he did. He's a white nationalist that wants to shoot people.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, he knew what the right gig was.
Yeah, his aspiration was to be able to murder people legally. That's his aspiration. That's it. That's like, they're not sitting there. The news story should be like, this kid's a psycho. What's up with his parents? How come they raised him this way? Who the fuck raises their kid to act this way? Like, and his family releases some statement, his God-given right. How come nobody's going, God? It says thou shalt not kill in the Bible. Jesus didn't want you to take an AR-15 to a rally. What are you talking about, God? Stop invoking the Bible and Jesus. It's offensive to actual Christians. How come there's no news story like that? It's just preposterous that you see how blatantly the lies are said, man. It's unbelievable. So Matt, I appreciate you supporting the show, and I appreciate you really coming to that conclusion. We all have to look at the times. I was a little bit of a fucking hoodlum when I was younger. And I would have, if I was black, I would have been more in a life of crime, because they would have thrown the book at me and would have been in prison and jail, and I would have had to adapt to that life, rather than, and again, it goes to your point, Ron. It's like, a black kid gets busted. It's like, another problem. Here we go. He's done this his whole, they're all problems. And then a white kid does something awful, and it's like, don't hold him accountable. Don't arrest him. He's going to lose all of his opportunities. It's like, well,
yeah,
the kid gave up his opportunities when he decided to bring a gun to an anti-police brutality rally. He showed up. He came there with a gun. He had the intent.
And waved to police officers.
That's that's murder. I'm sorry. Don't give me self-defense. That's premeditated murder.
No, that's murder. Absolutely. And yeah, Graham, I agree with everything you're saying. The only problem is, a lot of your stories, I never did anything wrong when I was young, so I can't relate to some of the stuff you're saying. I was No, man, I am not at all proud of this, but since we're, on this topic, I'd be, I'd feel bad not sharing this, even though I am very, very, very much very not proud of this. But I was about 19, and my buddy and I were driving back from a show, and he got sideswiped. And it was a hit and run. The person just sideswiped him. They were at fault, and the car just drove off. So we call the cops, and the cops show up. And in fairness, the cop was not being all that nice. He was kind of, he kept trying, because I was drunk and my friend wasn't, because my friend was the designated driver. But I was drunk, and it was kind of obvious. And he kept trying to be like, were you driving the car? And I was like, I was not driving the car. And he's like, were you driving the car? And I was like, I was not driving the car. And my friend was like, I was driving the car. I'm sober. I was driving. He was not driving the car. And so the cop wasn't being that great. Like, he was kind of being a jerk about it. And he's like, why didn't you get the license plate? And we were like, it was a hit and run, dude. Like, he hit and then just sped off. Like, we couldn't get the license number. And then I kind of got a little bit, smart alecky with the guy. I forget what exactly I said. But he was just like, dude, were you driving? He asked the third time if I was driving the car. And I was like, I wasn't driving the car. And he's like, why don't you stand in that corner and shut up? And I go, whatever, Uncle Fester, because he was bald. So I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this, especially because by the time I don't know exactly how old he was, but I'm imagining he was, like, I don't know, but by the time I'm his age, I'll probably be bald myself. So it was a dumb thing to say. I'm not proud of it. He made me mad, and I was drunk, and I was very young. But imagine Imagine if a black guy did something like that.
Oh, dude, you'd have been thrown up against the minute you opened your mouth and said, "Hey, wait a minute." He would have gone, "Shut up, get down, shut up, and put his hand on his piece and going, "Get down, get down." And you would have been like, "I was just asking a question. Get down." They won't. They stop listening to reason. They just become these robots that don't look at you as a human, and it's so annoying. I mean, like, and dangerous, and they have all this power, and it's just like, and then they complain that they have a tough job. What did you think being a cop was going to be? It's like a garbage collector going, "Oh, every day I come home, I smell. It's not fair." What did you think job was going to be? Like,
it's like a comedian being like, "I got to drive so much."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think?
I had to deal with drunks at the show. Oh, welcome to stand-up comedy. I got heckled. Somebody said I wasn't funny. Oh, then write funny jokes.
Or someone left a comment. It was online. Someone said something impolite on the internet. What should I do?
You quit. It's not fair. I'm leaving comedy. All right. Well, thank you, Matt.
Don't quit comedy, Matt.
Don't.
It's just that's where we ended.
That's where we ended. Jen Scheid. Jen, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Can you bring awareness to the entertainment industry surrounding a red alert? We are the first industry to shut down and will be the last to reopen. Thousands involved in stagecraft have no work nor unemployment benefits.
SaveOurStages.com.
Gene, yeah, thank you. So it's SaveOurStages.com. Ron, can you explain that site?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been talking about it on my show a fair amount. It is legislation. There's two pieces of legislation it's connected to, and it is a bipartisan effort. And it's there's a couple policies involved, and one of them is, loans that will have to be repaid, which I know isn't completely ideal, but for some venues, this is the difference between whether or not they stay open. And then there's also another bill accompanying it that offers mostly grants, and the grants that qualify. To qualify, you have to prove that over 25% of your business was really impacted by COVID-19, which of course live venues fall into, and you have to help out your employees. So, those two pieces of legislation, and they also reach into other, parts of the industry too, restaurants, shops, and stuff like that. But the Save Our Stages piece that offers the grants that's specifically pertaining to live venues and live performance. And these pieces of legislation are not 100% perfect all the way through. I mean, it's going to be a pain when some of these loans have to get paid back, although they are, again, some of them are grants where you don't have to pay a penny back. Some of them are very, very low interest loans. It's not perfect policy, but for a lot of venues, if this thing doesn't get passed, it's the difference between whether or not they're still going to be standing next year. And they all want to stay open because the people, and Graham and I can attest to this. We still spend a lot of time on the road. The people who work at live venues, they don't do it because they're getting rich, because no one really is. They do it because they love it. They do it because, I have a lot of friends who are sound guys and musicians and stuff like that. They love that work. It really is just so rewarding and so special to them. And they love seeing live performance, and they love working with the bands and the comedians, and it's just part of who they are. And, same with, some promoters are kind of scummy, but a lot aren't too. And, so the people in that industry, they really love it, and they want to be able to do it again as soon as we safely can go back to it. So,
yeah, and our specific tour, the Progressive Comedy Tour, really tried to find sort of non-alternative venues. We've got some great relationships with some of the big comedy clubs, and they're in the same boat. The big comedy clubs, the rock venues. I mean, organizations like Live Nation, I don't know what's going to happen to them. They have a lot of money, but they also have a lot of overhead. But we're really worried about, and not that I don't care about Live Nation because they employ a lot of people, but what we're talking about is the independent owned venues and the comedy clubs, and like you say, the people that work in these venues. I mean, we've had so many great experiences, especially we've reached out to venues and like tried something, and they're like, "Oh, we're open to this," or
right.
We did a Sunday afternoon show in Sydney, Australia, and it's a theater and a rock club that's been around for a long time, and they were so pumped. And so like, yeah, let's make this work. And we were supposed to do a show at the Zanies in Nashville, which has been really cool to us. And they gave us a matinee show, Saturday afternoon show. And we were like, this will be awesome. Our audience will just come to see us. And they were like loving it because venues don't make money in the afternoons.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everyone. And it's still going to happen. It's just
still going to happen, but
not going to happen until next year.
You and I have already known there's 2 clubs that we were set to do before COVID that are now out of business. And the touring performer, comedian, musician, I loosely calculated at one time how many jobs are impacted for just me or me and you to go on the road. It's in the neighborhood of 60 to 70 jobs are impacted.
Yeah.
When you think about the Lyft driver, the people at the airport taking your bags, the TSA people, the people if you get food in the terminal, the gate agents, the flight crew, the people unloading the bags. Then when the plane lands, all the people at the new location, to offloading the bags, the ground crew there. And then, we'll get in like a shuttle bus or get a rental car. So there's all the employees at the rental car company. And then we go to a hotel, everybody at the hotel. And then we get to the venue. There's everybody at the venue. And there's all these ancillary jobs that get affected too. Like it's not just the sound tech and the wait staff and the kitchen staff, if they have a kitchen, and the door people and the security, the security guards or whatever. It's the person that delivers the booze and the food, the distributors.
Yeah.
Like that person is out of a job. I mean, and all the companies along the way are impacted by that. And so it's like 60.
Well, and you think of neighborhoods.
Yes.
You think of neighborhoods too. I mean, yeah, maybe, okay. So maybe you don't go to live performance all that much, and, live performance, it's not essential per se. I get that. But here's the thing, that live venue, say someone's going to a show and they have some time to kill beforehand. They might want to get dinner somewhere else as part of their evening. They might want to grab a round of drinks or two. They might be walking by and going, hey, I never noticed that record store in my neighborhood. I can't wait to go there again in the future and pick up the Whiskey and a T-shirt LP, I mean, so there's all these community benefits that live venues provide. And I think to overlook that is, is very much a mistake. And I hope this policy, does go through, and saveourstages.com is where you can sign that petition to get those pieces of legislation through.
SaveOurStages.com, everybody. I'll put it in the show notes if you're watching this, the archive version. So thank you so much, Gene, for bringing that to our attention. Vegan guns. All right. Let me go here and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Christopher Walker, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. See the 17-year-old piggy fought a middle-aged woman. Oh, geez.
I don't know what that refers to.
I think is that I'm not sure what that means. They're talking about the 17-year-old kid. He fought an older woman or something. I don't know.
The shooter guy. They're saying I don't know.
I don't know what that means. But thank you, Christopher. North American Ape. Boom. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Defenders of Kyle, that's the shooter, are using classic U.S. imperialist logic. We illegally invaded this country in order to go defend ourselves. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
wow. Yeah, it really is.
We're losing our minds. This country's going insane. It's painful to watch.
Yeah.
I've been watching this for decades. It's slowly happening, and now it's gotten accelerated because the Democrats let Trump become president, and now we have a pandemic with an idiot running the show. Sam Dean, what's up, Sam? Shave your knuckles for justice, brother. Hope everything's okay down in Melbourne. Facebook has threatened to remove Australians' ability to post news content to its platforms if the federal government doesn't back down on a proposed code of conduct that would force companies like Facebook and Google to pay local news outlets. Man, fuck Facebook.
Yes.
Like, of course they're going to do that. They're going to try to hold it. And you know what you should do? What the Australian citizens should say? We don't pay your fair share. Pay, you multi-billion-dollar company. Pay us.
Or say, hey, you know what? Give us our own Facebook. Let's make our own thing. Let's make I don't know, like Kiwi Connect. I mean,
That's New Zealand, but
they have good kiwis in Australia too. I know that they are grown in New Zealand.
Australians are screaming right now. Kiwis is the nickname for New Zealanders.
I understand that, but it could be in both places. And I've not been to New Zealand. So the best kiwi I've ever had in my life was in Australia. I get it. It's not New Zealand, but it's a hell of a lot closer to the United States. And when I was growing up in the late 80s and 90s, that's when kiwi was trendy in the United States, because I don't know if you recall this, but when they first brought kiwi to the US, everyone thought it was weird. They're like, oh, it's not, we don't like it. But then it was actually New Zealand and Australia. It was a joint effort. They decided to remarket it to Americans, and they're like, come on, it looks like a potato, but it's sweet. And we were like, okay. And a bunch of yuppies got into it. So everyone loved kiwi. So my mom was like, yeah, I'm hip. Here's kiwi. So young me loved freaking kiwi. It's always been my favorite fruit. And it became my favorite fruit to the nth degree in Australia, because I've not been to New Zealand yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard sell to people in Australia who would never call themselves Kiwis. But I see your point. They should start their own.
That's just the name of the thing. That's just the name of the thing. They don't have to. They can still use their name. Wasn't the car sharing service we used in Australia called Kiwi?
No.
I thought it was.
No.
No,
Ron. Everything isn't a Kiwi. Like... you just kind of showed your hand that you've had this insane obsession with kiwis and how it transformed your childhood, and so now you just think that a taxi cab looks like a kiwi. So I think we're getting into a weird area here, buddy. But Sam, Ron has an excellent point. Marketing discrepancies aside, I think he has an excellent point here that you guys should kick Facebook out of that country and start your own and make it be like a co-op, like you all own it, and get rid of Facebook. I mean, Facebook got rid of Friendster, and MySpace got rid of Friendster, and Facebook got rid of MySpace. So get rid of Facebook in Australia. I only reason I keep a Facebook account is just I got 10,000 likes on my fan page, but I'm never there. I don't care about it, and just get rid of them. Like, force them to pay their things, and start calling yourselves Kiwis so Ron doesn't, stays happy, and then
different name. I get it. I'm just saying.
It's like saying, it's like Americans calling themselves Canucks. That's like, no, it's Canadian. It's like Canadian. We're Canadian. We're not. It's Canadian. Or like a Canadian going, oh, those Yanks. They're going to be like, no, I'm not a Yank. I'm a Canuck. But then someone's going to go on a long story of like, wow, when I was a kid, we had Yanks, and like it might be a thing. Snork Y2K, shave your knuckles for justice. It was great having real comedians coming to Iowa. Cat treats for Lucy. Have some tea with her. Oh yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, getting back to just the venue thing, we played this cool underground, and the thing about the neighborhood, like just about every venue we've played at, we usually get there early. We make sure everything's set up, and then we go somewhere walkable and get dinner in that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we found amazing places. Oh, there's a Vietnamese place in Orlando, a Chinese place in San Francisco. Oh, that's so much.
Yeah, and that place in Iowa City was when we went to that. We went to that place that did the like unique dumplings.
Oh yes,
that place was so cool. It was so college town like. Yeah, it was so like this place would only exist in a college town, but it was like dumplings, and they had like all these different themes and fillings you can get, but they were all really, really good.
I remember we just sat. It was just a little bar at a window type of a place, and we just sat there and ate these amazing dumplings before we did our show, and we had gone to a Bernie rally earlier. Oh, simpler times.
Simpler times.
Miss Hendrick, shave your knuckles for justice. As an Australian, I can tell you definitely we are not Kiwis. We used to be called Skips.
I get it.
As in Skippy the kangaroo. I knew when you went on the thing.
It was just alliteration. Kangaroo Connect. There you go. Call it that.
There you go, Ron. There you go. I knew the chat was going to react this way when you said that. It was so beautiful.
I didn't realize it was that. I mean, I know that they're grown in New Zealand. I did know that. I just Australia's a lot closer, and they're still delicious there. I don't know why. Why can't everybody just embrace it?
Well, you're just refusing to hear the fact that kiwi is it's a nickname for New Zealand.
No. I understand that. I'm just about celebrating the food itself.
All right. Okay. Good luck with setting up the Kiwi Connect thing in Australia.
No, it's called Kangaroo Connect. We've already decided. We're switching the name.
I'm done with that. Didgeridoo book. Whatever. Call it
Didgeridoo Down Under.
Didgeridoo. Yeah, exactly.
Instant
go or something like that. You know what I mean? Call it that. Anthony, shave your knuckles for justice. Even though Hawkins sucks, Green could help all third parties. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. Like, I like the Green Party's platform. I would love to see them do better. This ridiculous infighting and being Howie Hawkins and like being corrupt in the Green Party is just like the Girl Scouts, having corruption. It's just like, come on, just get on the same page and fix some shit. Overall, I would love to see the Green Party do better, but you got to wonder, is it private intelligence screwing it up or is it just people being dumb? Could be both. Hey, Mares, what's up, hey, Mares? You coming to Iowa was the highlight of 2020, even if it was on my deathbed.
I remember you were sick that night. I remember that.
Yeah, it was Hey, Mares. That was so cool. And that was
a really fun show.
Oh man, that basement. That was all those Bernie volunteers were there at the show, and we got to meet A Mares and Snork, and that was really cool, man.
And that venue was so cool because it's called the Yacht Club, and it's totally, there are no yachts, nor is there a yacht club. That's just what they ironically named their rock club. This is a really cool space. I really like that venue a lot.
It's just call it Yacht Club in the middle of a farmland, like there's no boats anywhere. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Matt S, shave your knuckles for justice. Think new program is skipping super chats. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of that. I'm going to tell you this right now, friend. We're going to get to the bottom of that. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of the super chats. Thank you for letting me know that, Matt S. Oh, there it is. Graham, are you going back to the older super chats? Yes, I'm doing that right now. Sorry. StreamYard, Marco Smith, shave your knuckles for justice. Cracking my knuckle joints for justice. Amen. Chiropractors for justice. Kate, what's up, Kate? How you doing? Kate's our moderator, ladies and gentlemen. How about those Cubs? No, seriously, you guys did great at the Movement for People's Party. Thoughts on Ventura's speech?
So I missed it. Did you see it?
No, I literally was packing.
I missed Ventura's speech. I didn't catch all of the thing because I just had other things I needed to do, but I did. He was among the ones I missed. I did not catch Ventura's speech.
My understanding was it was pretty powerful, but I mean,
I think you can find them all online. I just haven't done it yet, but I think you can find like everyone online. I'm
sure you can. The Movement YouTube page, I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is still on there, the whole convention, and then I think they archived or cut up some of the clips, is my understanding. So, I'm down with it. I heard Marianne Williamson said we need to vote for Biden, which I'm like, why are you saying this here? But overall, it was really cool, the Movement for People's Party thing. I mean, I'm sure you felt the same way when we did a tech run through. So we come on Zoom, and I'm like, there's Cornel West and Chris Hedges and Nina Turner, and literally Chris Hedges and
Danny
Cornel
Glover.
Danny Glover. He won
Medea Benjamin.
Yeah, Medea.
Yeah, Danny Glover gave you a shout out, dude.
Yeah, he goes, boy, it was hard to follow.
Glover was like, dude, Medea. I only private chatted one person, and it was Medea Benjamin, because I just had to say something about her book, her Iran books. It was just so good. So I messaged her and I was like, I just got to say your book on Iran was spectacular, and thank you so much for all you do. And she said, hey, back at you, which I don't know if she actually knew who I was or if she was just being polite. I guess I'll never know for sure, but But either, I'm pretty sure I was blushing.
She's got to know who you are. She's watched the Jimmy Dore show, and you've been on that a million times. So I almost can guarantee they knew.
All right, then we'll go with that. But it was still cool. It was really cool to see.
Chris Hedges goes, hey, Cornell, have you read this book on blah blah? And the two of them are talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like watching, like, I don't know, two like
they're two of the leading intellectuals in the world.
Yeah, discussing. Cornell was like, you know, he's like, well, I love how it talked about the tentacles of neo-capitalism's infusion. I'm just like this. I was like in awe at how smart those two guys are. They're just like,
I mean, it's like, but they're both. I mean, Cornell West, as soon as he got into that Zoom room, he just started saying hello to everyone. Like he leaned in so he could see. Yeah. So like he's leaning in on his own Zoom, just saying hello to every single person who is there. And we're all just like, like everyone's so stoked that he's there.
And everyone's like brother this or sister that. And he's like,
yeah, it's so cool.
He's like, he's who he is. That's who he is. He's
and you know, I love it every time that man speaks. Cause I'll tell you what, I make a lot of music references, but that guy is the undisputed king of the music references. I'll never be able to make him as good as he can, nor am I trying. He sets the bar.
Yeah, he was always talking about
he always connects it to jazz. He connects it
to jazz, which I absolutely love.
That's what he's doing. I love that guy.
Let me make sure. I love how he always connects it to jazz. You know what? I got to go to a different page and just make sure. I got to get all the old.
Yeah, StreamYard can be spotty with chats sometimes.
That's the other thing. It just jumps.
You can't rely on it.
And there's not, what they need is a way to like, where they put all of the super chats in one place and you can go back to them. You know, that's what they need.
Yeah. I mean, they're still technically in beta, so they're still, you know, one step at a time. But yeah, they haven't quite mastered the chat yet.
Drew Wintermeyer. Drew, what's up? Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Get that thing. Glad to see you boys. I yield my time. Thank you so much.
I yield my time.
I yield my time. Matt S. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you too, dude. Let's see. Emberg 33. Was Elwood the 10-year-old you gave your pot idea? No.
Oh, no. I actually do have a cousin named Graham, which is ironic because people would get confused whenever we were on the road together and I would do that joke. But I do have a cousin named Graham. And ironically enough, Comic Graham and Cousin Graham have met each other.
Yes, we have. And Graham, it's the same space. It's like a supernova.
It was weird. Yeah, you guys were at the same table and we all just started floating in the air because they were just like the 2 Grahams with their powers combined.
Yep. 2 grams make you float in the air. OTR Trucker, what's up? Ron, what if your D character uses his name as R, clothes to look punk, and L is named more of a libertarian?
Wait, repeat it. What was the
what if your Democrat character uses his name as R, his Republican character clothes to look punk? Oh, uses his same clothes as the Republican character to look punk, and the libertarian is named more of a libertarian, if I understand that correctly.
Oh yeah. Well, I know some people have noticed this and they asked me about it, but in those sketches, Republican and Democrat do have the same shirt on, and that is on purpose. Republican just has a tie with his shirt, and Democrat unbuttons one button. But they do have the same shirt on, and that is intentional. And then Green Party kind of has a wacky costume. It's a painted shirt that someone gave me in Gainesville. And then Libertarian just kind of has a goofy, whatever, with an older pair of glasses of mine.
Dude, I'm such a huge proponent of barely like Granny Petrol is literally just a wig, glasses, and a shawl and some pearls. Like just
Yeah.
minimalist character. I love.
Yeah. What else do you need?
What else do you need? Just need the soul of the person.
And
Anyway.
then Ted's just whatever I'm wearing that day, because Ted's just like the regular dude. Like my wife pointed it out. She's just like, Ted has a different shirt on in all the sketches. I'm like, yeah, Ted's just a regular guy. Like Ted's just there. Like the rest of them have a specific costume.
Good business. Shayna Bell, what's up, Shayna? Thank you for supporting the show. Melissa H, hello, Melissa. It's always great to see you in the chat. Watch Dixie Chicks video March. Powerful supportive protest, past and present. Very moving. Ron, have you written It Started with a Tweet yet? Ooh.
No, I haven't. I'm still working on that. But this week, I hope to have that out for you.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, there's a bunch of super chats here. Mitch, thank you, everybody, for pointing this out so we can go back and get them. Yeah, and remember when the Dixie Chicks did that thing about George Bush? And then it was like all the radio, and this is when he was in office, and they were like, they were ashamed of, they said something at a concert, they were ashamed of it, and they're like, and all these stations ban them. No, it was one media corporation that bought up.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was in the day when Clear Channel, like, because that was shortly, well, it wasn't shortly after, but it was like in the, like, we were still feeling that first wave of all the homogenization of radio. And Clear Channel had a very solid right-wing agenda, and then eventually they got bought out by Bain Capital, which is Mitt Romney's company. So they went even further right. So yeah, they kind of, and that was back when Howard Stern was still kind of going toe-to-toe to them, like right before he went on Sirius. So it was when they were really, trying to carry that mantle. So they were like, we won't tolerate this, America.
Yeah. America. Nazar G, what's up, Nazar? Shave your knuckles for justice. Shut up, Ron. Don't give him them ideas. I'm going to have nightmares about Cyborg Cheney now. I can't unhear that. they were listening to this and they went, "Yep, let's start Cyborg Cheney."
Good idea.
Good idea. Harry C. Smith, what's up? Hey y'all. So is it true Trump just ordered that no one renting in the U.S. will be evicted though? I think it's the end of March. If so, he just went. No, I saw that he said the CDC. Actually, let me find the article. Dave Anthony sent it to me. And it's just like
Dave's tweets are so funny.
Oh, Dave's fucking hilarious.
He's like one of my favorite people on Twitter.
It's just let me see if I can bring this on the screen. I'm trying to figure this out with StreamYard about like how to bring up a web, like, so it's you and I on one side and then like a website around. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah. You do a share screen and then just use one of your browsers on your computer, but make sure you pick the right browser you want to use. So like open something in a browser, get the website you want there, and then do a share screen. But like it'll give you an option of every browser you have open, and just make sure you pick the right one.
Got it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So where's the share? Where is that? Share screen, I see.
Mm-hmm. And then pick browser. And then you'll see like a list of options. And then another way to do it is go to Venmo and pick Ron-Placone, and then type in
save it
$1,000.
Okay, so here, let me go. Hold on, let me pull this off. God, where is it? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. I'm joined here by the host of Get Your News On with Ron, a popular daily show on the YouTube, Ron Placone. Ron, how are you doing today?
Hey, Graham. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, especially since I think Trump, did he just out-left the Democrats? The U.S. CDC issues sweeping halt on residential evictions to combat virus. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Tuesday issued a sweeping nationwide order temporarily halting millions of U.S. renters from being evicted in a bid to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Because we did a video a couple weeks ago on this show showing a elderly woman who had COVID-19 evicted, which is like, the health department said this shouldn't be done. And of course, the cops don't care. Sorry, you're out. We're just doing our following orders because we're slack-jawed morons. The order covers all 43 million U.S. residential renters as long as they meet income eligibility requirements, although an administration official said the government does not expect an overwhelming use of the program. I think you've miscalculated that. The order lasts through December 31st and applies to individual renters who do not expect to earn more than $99,000 this year or $198,000 for joint filers. It also applies to renters who did not report income in 2019 or received a stimulus check earlier this year. The National Apartment Association said the CDC order risked further harm to the economy and would amplify the housing affordability crisis and destroy the rental housing industry. Without payments, owners face a financial crisis of their own, it said. Renters must file sworn declarations warning evictions would leave them homeless or force them into a shared living setting and attest they have done all they can to get government assistance for rent or housing. The administration warned renters would be prosecuted, go to jail, or pay fine if they lie in declarations. An administration official told reporters the order was not an invitation to stop paying rent and said renters should pay a portion of rent if possible. Renters still owe accrued rent and face penalties for failure to pay. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, good friend of the show, stole my house. He's great. Great guy. Always, he's got his fingers on the pulse. Doesn't want people to take too much unemployment, even though he's legally stolen millions of dollars, billions, if not, from the American people. He's good. Mnuchin told the House of Representatives panel, which is probably a bunch of sellout Democrat morons, earlier the measure was to ensure people don't get thrown out of their rental homes. In July, a firm
estimated how he calls it a rental home. That's just how disconnected he is from regular people.
Oh,
this is a rental home. You rent. The way that works, it's like each month you pay some money and then you can live in a place. But like you have a home too, even though you don't own a mansion like regular people do. You don't have a mansion, but you have a place. Sometimes it can be as little as one bedroom, really, for some people, and that's something. Yeah. But every month you pay some money on the first, and then you get to stay there again. And yeah, I mean, there's people that they live that way. That's what they do. Yeah, wow. Some people do that. Some people do that.
Yes, I mean, it's some sort of rental house that people congregate in a rental house. I mean.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, I don't know how many people actually do it. I mean, I was talking to my buddy Don Jr., and I mean, he told me like 82% of all Americans earn more than $400,000 a year. So I'm pretty sure there aren't many people that do it. But yeah, some people, they do it. They like rent in places like, like cities or whatever, and it's not actually their property, but they get to live there. Yeah, as long as they pay their rent. That's what it's called even, and you get to live in a place. Yeah, it's weird.
I've never heard of such a thing. Now, granted, I've been busy helping Elon Musk coup for battery materials down in Bolivia, so I've been a little busy, but this sounds weird, but I guess in July, a firm estimated more than $21.5 billion in past due rent is owed by Americans. Jesus. As unemployment surged to levels unseen since the aftermath of the 30s Great Depression, a patchwork of federal, state, and local eviction bans has kept renters who could not make payments in homes. So
Yeah, that money's not owed by the American people, by the way. That money is owed by the government, because one of the reasons that a federal government exists, one of the reasons that you have that, and one of the reasons you have a freaking country is that when something like a pandemic happens, which, typically only happens once every 100 freaking years, but when it happens, you're taken care of. Society's taken care of. That's one of the reasons you pay taxes every year. That's one of the reasons we have a federal government. And what did they do? They completely turned their back on us. We'll give them Wall Street trillions. So no, the American people do not owe that freaking money. The government owes that freaking money to all of us. So I'm not trying to take it out on the article. Like that's just, a semantical thing, but that's bullshit. The American people do not owe that money. The government owes that money.
Yeah. They shut us down. They told us we couldn't work. And then now they're saying you got to pay rent. And it's like, this is more just federal government, both parties just giving stopgaps and band-aids on things. But it is, the sad reality is the Democrats, God, it's just like, they're so bad. They could be being super left and progressive, and they could be screaming from the mountaintops, you need us in charge because Trump mishandled the pandemic. And he's made a bunch of stupid mistakes, but they don't do anything either. They don't do anything either. And they aid his mistakes in some cases, or offer even a dumber mistake. And
they ripped us. I mean, they were so bad at the negotiating table. Everybody got $600 less because of them. We knew they were going to flop a long-term agreement. Everybody knew that, but it's like, at least you take the short-term bluff from Steve Mnuchin. You get the extra 600 he was pledging, and then you hold his feet to the fire to say, if we don't have a long-term, you're going to keep extending it. So you either meet us on a long-term now, or we're going to keep extending this thing. That's what they could have done. They didn't. Instead, they took their ball and went home, saying, no, we're not meeting you for the short term. So we have to do a long-term now. And they said, well, screw you. We're not doing a long-term. And by the way, when I called it that way, when I said it was going to work that way, there were other people who actually defended it. And they're like, no. They have a better chance for a long-term plan this way. They're not going to screw. They screwed it up again. They didn't do it. Just like we said they wouldn't. So you got even less. You got even less. You got $600 less because of how grossly incompetent they are. And that's how we all called that it was going to happen. And these people who, I mean, they are like Lucy with the football to the nth degree, who still thought, no, it's smart. They're actually being strategic here. They usually screw up, but this is, no, this is right what they're doing. No, they're going to fuck this up, and then we're going to get even less. Sure enough, that's what happened.
They hate Trump so badly. They have lost their critical thinking skills, and they just can't they just want to believe that the Democrats are just playing three-dimensional chess with Trump. And it's like, no, they're awful. They're awful. And
they can't even play checkers because their donors won't let them. So they're not playing any type of chess.
So
they can't even figure out checkers.
Stuff like this is why Trump could very easily win this election, because rather than the Democrats hammering Trump on all of the things that have made Americans' lives more difficult and more costly, all of the things, his tax break, his trade tariff war with China that's hurting farmers. They should be like, hey, farmers, Trump, he said he was going to help you. He's not. The $1.5 trillion tax break, the not having a pandemic response team. They could just be just hammering him, just showing he is so ineffective. He didn't even hold up his promises. He's bombing countries. He said he was going to pull out. They won't even do, all they can say is Trump bad ethics. Like to listen to Obama, who's let 85,000 kids die in Yemen, lecture me on morality is like, they got nothing. And now this CDC thing, this looks like Trump just passed a law to help keep people in their homes. That's what it looks like, which when it comes down to it, they're going to go, who's helping me in this crisis?
Yeah.
Who's helping me?
Well, not just that, but when you are in a severe moment, I mean, you look at something like 2004, everyone knew that Bush was doing a horrible job with the quote unquote war on terror. Everybody was like, why are we in Iraq? But they didn't think John Kerry was going to be any better. John Kerry just seemed weak and he had no ideas. So enough people were like, well, we might as well stick with the guy that's, steering the ship right now. I mean, the same thing could very easily happen again, where it's just like, yeah, Trump screwed this up a bunch, but I don't think Biden can handle it. So I guess I'm just going to stick with this guy who has screwed up every single time he wakes up.
I think the Democrats are either so stupid or they're like, the economy is going to collapse no matter what. So why don't we just blow this election? And then when it implodes on Trump, we'll say, see what he's done. And then everyone will come running to us in 2024. Like that was their 04, the 2004 plan. And then
yeah,
they're going to have, Kamala or whomever, somebody like that. And they're going to go, see, she's so.
Well, I think it's gotten to the point. I mean, it's gotten to the point where as long as they occasionally win when it is absolutely inevitable, they can continue the facade.
Right.
I mean, because it's to the point, it's not conspiratorial to say that the first priority of the Democratic establishment is not winning. Their first priority is making sure the status quo is okay, making sure the apple cart's okay, making sure the gravy train keeps rolling. And you have to do that first and foremost. Once you do that, if you can beat a Republican, great. If not, well, you still took care of the main priority.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just where we're at right now. So I don't think they really care if they win in 2020 or not.
No, they don't. They don't, because they can then have another 4 years of Trump bad, Russia, Trump bad.
Yeah. They know what that does for fundraising too. Yeah, they know what it does. It's fantastic.
All these dipshit millionaire Hollywood neoliberals will gladly keep giving them all these idiots that shame us on social media because they're too dumb to acknowledge the crimes of the Democratic Party. They're in the same amount of denial as the All Lives Matter people who say, oh, there's no systemic racism, just a few bad apples. They say that same shit about the Democratic Party and they refuse to acknowledge it. And they think because, they have an Obama sticker on their Tesla or whatever, that they're somehow woke. And
I blame comic books. And this is coming from a guy who loves comic books and even writes a comic about his cat. But I blame comic books because, due to that with that law that they passed as far as like comic books in the United States. I forget what it was called. It was like some kind of decency act or something like that. Everybody's raised on this idea that there's a good guy and a bad guy. There's always a good guy and a bad guy. And if the Republicans are bad guys, well, the Democrats must be the good guys. If Trump's the bad guy, well, then Adam Schiff and the intelligence agencies must be the good guys. And when you have the message of, hey, I got some really shitty news, sometimes life's not a comic book. There are no good guys sometimes. Sometimes they're both bad guys. And you need to find a real solution because you just got bad guys on your left and bad guys on your right. And there's just bad guys involved in a scenario. And that's not a popular message.
Yeah.
But it's the truth.
And they don't want to acknowledge that, because if they acknowledge that their team is bad, then that's an admission that I must be bad because they have the logic and critical thinking of a rat. So that's how dumb this country is. Both sides equally stupid. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen, and support us on patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All right, let's read some more super chats. 423 people watching, ladies and gentlemen. 322 likes, 325 likes. Let's get up to 400 likes, everybody. Let's see some super chats that I might have missed. Shauna Bell, what's up, Shauna? Shauna Bell. What do you guys think of Trump's speech in Kenosha? I didn't see it, but I can only imagine it's just flat out racism now. I mean, he's basically...
Well, he defended that Kyle guy. Like, he defended the shooter.
Of course. He's not even dog whistling anymore. He's just saying to his base, hey, white America, the angry blacks and the fascists, lefty radicals are coming. Grab a gun, defend yourself. I mean, it's just that old,
anarchists are throwing soup.
Yeah.
They're throwing soup everywhere with their anarchy soup.
He just wants to keep everybody afraid. That's his whole model, and Fox News is good for it. And all the white people, I mean, the old white people that raised that kid, Kyle, you see his mom, she's some white nut bag. They're out of their minds.
And it's just the anarchists throwing soup. That's the problem. You know why anarchists love soup? Because soup doesn't have enough rules. That's why. You ever seen soup? Like, oh, you want to throw some pepper in there? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Oh, how about some celery? Yeah, go for it. Noodles? Yeah, I'm on board. Carrots? No law and order. No law and order. That's why anarchists love it. They love soup. And they throw it, they eat it, they do whatever the hell they want with it. Because there's no rules, and that's what they want. No rules. You want no rule? You want to live in soup? That's what's going to happen. You're going to be living in soup.
Soup has no rules. Soup is the most lawless food. It's a lawless food. Like, we have to put an end to soup. I'm tired of it. Vegetables and meat living together in some sort of river. I don't know what's going on. This is madness, Ron. And you
Mike Pence can't have soup with anyone except for his wife. And even then, they're like, this is ruleless.
Well, what's next? I mean, we have soup. I mean, what's next? Just dogs marrying each other? I mean, what is happening? I mean, what is humans having sex?
When are you going to draw the line? When are you going to draw the line? Hey, I have this toast. I think I'm going to dip it in this soup. Are you fucking crazy? No, people are doing it. People are doing it. How about does a grilled cheese go with a certain type of soup? Apparently it does. And people will dip that too. When does it end? When does it end? At least we have one rule. Soup's hot. Oh, gazpacho. Oh, fuck. That's not a rule anymore. It can be cold. Where does it end?
And then the pot pie. What are you trying to do? I don't trust you.
That's kind of a soup, but kind of something else.
It's the Trojan horses of soup.
Hey, can we agree that pie is sweet? Well, here's a shepherd who says, fuck you, we can.
Oh, see?
What the hell? What are we going to do? All this anarchy food, and they're throwing it. And Trump is outraged. He wants to throw paper towels to people who are in need.
This is what happens. The left, they just madness. They just make anarchy. Soup is a lawless food, and they love their lawlessness, and they hate America. If you eat soup, you hate America. I said it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna eat, freedom bread. That's what I'm gonna eat. Fantastic. Louise Brooks, what's up, Louise? I'm finding it easier to have political discussions with Trump voters compared to the MSNBC crowd, the business people, not the full-blown MAGA goofs. So weird. No, I know. The MAGA nuts, they're in a cult. They're crazy. And you can't, they just like, no, Trump, double plus good. Always Trump. They're nuts. But the people are just like, yeah, I'm voting for him. He's kind of a jack, but I'm a Republican or whatever. Those people will actually listen. And when you come at them first and tell them that the Democratic Party is completely corrupt, and that's why you don't like Trump and the Republicans, because the whole system's corrupt. I've had way more conversations with Trump people like, yeah, I agree with you there. That's all bullshit. Because they'll go, but the Democrats this, and they expect an argument from me. And I go, yep, they're awful. And I go, Joe Biden's not a fascist. He's a Republican. Huh? I go, he's a Republican. I go, and then when I always come, I've stopped some Republicans dead in their tracks when I always bring up free health care and Medicare for all. And they always go, how are we going to pay for it? I go, the same way we pay for all these wars. You ever notice we always have money for war? And they always kind of go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, yeah. Think about all the money we've spent on war. Yeah, but we got to protect our freedoms. I go, we've been fighting in Afghanistan for 19 years. Can you imagine if we were still fighting the Japanese in 1960? And they all go, yeah, 1960, Pearl Harbor, 1941, 19 years later, we're still fighting the Japanese and Germany and everybody in 1960. And they always kind of go, wow. I go, see?
Mm-hmm.
We've got money for war, but we don't have money for good things. And you start talking pro-labor and unions and getting American workers jobs in the green economy. They go, oh.
Well, and there's those people that turned to Trump because they thought he was an actual outsider, which he wasn't. It was just, nonsense. And yeah, I think a lot of those people, they're not going to fall for it again. I mean, I think a lot of them are like, okay, you showed us who you are, and you're no different. The only difference is instead of the politician being bought, you were just the one doing the buying. And then you just thought, well, why have a middleman? I can just be bought myself. And that's the only way you were a quote unquote outsider. I think there's a lot of people who see that now.
Yeah. Yeah. They're waking up to it. Mad ass shaving knuckles for justice. Eternal soul of Mike Pence had a good ep, but they kind of sucked at Lollapalooza in '97. Eternal soul of Mike Pence. I got their first album. It was amazing.
Yeah, their follow up just didn't do it though. That was when they got clean for the follow up, and it showed. I'm not advocating drug use. I'm just saying their songwriting plummeted. Maybe there were other factors going on. I think one of the guys got married. That turned out to be a problem too. I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't enjoy the second album.
All right, let's see where we're at. I think I'm caught up on the super chats that I can put on the screen. There's a yes, here we go. Wooden Mines, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice, Wooden Mines. Dejan Kesey of Westmont shot by LCSD cops 20 times after pulling him over for code violations on his buddies, LAPD cops. The name's lost in the news cycle.
Yeah, because it happens every week. I mean, it's happening constantly now. And how criminal was it that here in California, the supposed progressive utopia, here in California, they failed on their last day of legislation. They're on vacation now, I think, but they are. They're on vacation now. But on their last day of legislation here in California, they couldn't get a bill through. I think it was SB 731 or some variation of those numbers. It was a bill saying that any cops who are caught using excessive force or caught doing sexual assault or anything like that, they get decertified right away. They couldn't pass that. They couldn't. We're one of 5 states that doesn't already have something like that. 5 states. Us, I think, and it's random the states that don't have it, by the way. It's like us, California, New Jersey doesn't, and I think Hawaii's actually, and I forget what the other 2 are, but they're random states that don't have it. California, again, is one of the 5. They couldn't pass it on the same day where there was yet another police shooting, where they shot a guy for a bike violation, as Wooden Mines points out. It is
violation.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane.
Like, and the thing is, like, everyone needs to, like, the vote any blue will do crowd. This is the thing they don't seem to understand.
We have a Democrat majority.
The Democrats control everything. They control the state assembly, the House, the governor's office, all of the, San Francisco and LA's mayors are Democrats. I mean, Gavin Newsom, who will not call out the brutality and murder and crimes of LAPD because he's too busy on his knees to their union. He's a big lefty, supposed lefty Democrat. Trump is bad, Trump, bad Trump. But cops shooting guys for bike violations, that we're not gonna hold anybody's feet to the fire on that. I mean, this is just, I'm so done with this Democratic Party. All these cities, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, all these Democratic mayors, Trump's not wrong on that. I mean, the Democrats make it so easy for this guy that's a narcissist and not smart and has got a brain that's full of cocaine and lies to make them look bad.
Yeah. I mean, well, I will say though, at least, I mean, some of the cities you pointed out, at least the city councils are doing more than what we've been able to do in LA so far. I mean, at least like in Seattle, they're pushing for a defunding, and I know the mayor's actually pushing back against it. The mayor's pushing back against the council.
It's a nil because the mayors get pressured and bought and donated to by the police unions. So the city council, and this is the thing, I cannot say this. I will say this till my dying day. What's going to happen in November? I don't care. Get your city council to the left, because that's going to change. Joe Biden's not going to, even if Bernie was the candidate, great. It still wouldn't. Your city, you have to fight your city council. You have to call your California state representatives or Washington or wherever you live and say, especially if you live in a blue state, and go, hey, I'm a liberal voter. I'm on the left. I don't like, you better defund the police or you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
And I'm registered in your district, whatever it is, and say, if you're registered in the city of Los Angeles, tell Gavin Newsom to pack your shit, man, and get rid of Jackie Lacey, that utterly corrupt district attorney, who's a black woman who will not prosecute cops for anything, Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Like, who's our senator? Oh, Kamala Harris. Great. Like, I'm tired of this fake blue shit. It's just,
Well, and tell Eric Garcetti that on his way out to take that police chief Michael Moore with him. The police chief, not the filmmaker, but police chief. That guy should have been fired a long time ago. And I know Mayor Garcetti. I think he's he's out of terms, so he'll be gone in 2022, which is great. But take the police chief with you.
Yeah, and the guys that are openly white nationalists on your police department that gets 54% of the city's operating budget. Take all that with you.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about re-election. You're done. So at least do something good on your way out for a change.
Do something, you corrupt silver spoon weasel. Sam Dean, shave your knuckles for justice. Furthermore, the Australian government has dismissed Facebook's heavy-handed threats to remove news. Experts say Facebook's removal of news from its platform could boost disinformation. Hashtag Toastergate. Yeah, you never know. I mean, that's what Ron, is part of the Toaster Anon group that pushes a lot of wild theories.
Well, actually, I mean, Facebook has been suppressing a lot of Toastergate news. So there is a connection. I think a lot of Australians have been trying to get the truth out on that, and Facebook's suppressing it.
I think you have an elaborate and expensive propaganda machine, Ron, to protect what really happened. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into this now. That's my theory. Farkas Garvey, you're making Gotham great again, Farkas. What would cause more destruction on election night, a Trump win or a Trump loss? Either way, they're going to go nuts. The diehard nutbag MAGA Second Amendment wingbirds, they're going to go nuts either way.
So it'll either be in celebration or in defeat.
Probably if he loses, they'll be a little more angry.
Right. So it'll probably be even more violent.
It'll be more violent. But even if he wins, they're going to be like, it's time. He's going to be king forever.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to care about democracy. They don't care about democracy. They're cult members. So they'll do whatever he tells them to do.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great if he told them all to drink some Kool-Aid and go to sleep. But, that'd be great. All right, let's a couple more super chats here. Sam Dean again. What's up, brother? Shave your knuckles for justice. Autopsy report verifies Rittenhouse's first victim was shot in the back. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Did not act in self-defense. Well, there you have it, right? Yeah. Well, there's video of he shot someone in the back and then he runs away, goes, I think I shot someone. And then he's back in the street and that's when they confront him. And he just starts shooting at anybody and then runs to the cops and they wave him in.
That's unbelievable.
If you were in any other country, if you're an American and you saw this in another country, you go, wow, that country has armed guerrillas.
Yeah.
That's what we would call it in another country.
And by the way, that's the defense they're going to use for this guy, which, I mean, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but the defense they're planning to use for this guy is they're going to say, well, the Second Amendment guarantees a well-regulated militia, and that's what this guy was doing. So he was within his right.
Yeah, he's protecting his town.
I mean, we're here, folks.
They want us in a civil war. Look, the ruling class wants us in a civil war because first, there's two reasons. One, bankers always profit from war, even a civil war. Bankers in the military industrial complex profit.
Well, and they profit from chaos.
Yes.
So, I mean, any type of chaos. I mean, that's why they're doing so well right now. Wall Street's doing so well right now because this is chaos. People have job uncertainty, housing uncertainty. People are sick. This is chaos. They're raking it in. So any type of chaos, they're fine. They're totally fine. The thing that really hurts them, that really hurts Wall Street, is calm.
Yeah.
That's why they don't want everyone to have a decent job. They don't want a thriving middle class. They don't want any of that stuff.
No.
That's way too calm. They'd rather have a handful of rich people and a lot of poor people and just have it be chaos. That's where they make the most money.
That's what they do. And they look, I mean, they profit from all this chaos and gun sales are up and tear gas stocks got to be going through the roof. And also it's it works quite well to keep everybody distracted because we're in the brink of having a race war is what they're really trying to push. But there's plenty of white people who are not white nationalists who are I'm talking to even some of the most pacifists who are like, you know what, I might arm up, which I don't want to see happen. Civil war is awful. But one of the things they're trying to do is distract from the fact that we're actually in class warfare. This is class warfare. The ruling class has declared war on us because of this pandemic. They said, you can't work. You're getting $1,200. Here's some unemployment. We're going to pull that after a couple of months. And Wall Street gets $4.25 trillion. And people, like you just said, billionaires have made record profits during this pandemic. So there's businesses going out. We know business owners. My local surf shop, ZJ's Boarding House, closed. 32 years it had been in business. Out of business. Done. Like all these businesses are closing, but Wall Street, the ruling class, are making money. We are in class warfare, but their propaganda machine is so effective, it's keeping us in a race war. Like, and now we're going to have some kind of crazy civil war, you know, the MAGA hat people versus everybody else. And the war profiteers will profit. The defense manufacturing, all those people will profit, just like a civil war anywhere, just like but it's going to tear up American soil. So anyone who's like gung ho for this, I just hope you know it's going to destroy life in America, and it'll be horrific. I just hope everybody understands that, who's all fired up for war on whatever side you're on. Civil wars are the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Big Baby Zubas, what's up? Thank you for supporting the show, brother. Just respond with, all right, Alex Jones, calm down. That's nice. Let me make sure. Amberg 33, you're making Gotham great again, Mark. The soup improv has to be a Rockfin premium. I'll pull that out as a separate clip. Hey, Ron Graham, tell us all one thing you really appreciate and love about each other. You two have great chemistry. Oh, that's a sweet thing to say. All right, Ron, you go first.
Okay. Let's see. Well, first of all, I really appreciate the whiskey that you gave me. I'm so excited to dive into it. I'm so stoked.
Let me give you a backstory on that real quick, because
yeah, please.
Sober. I was given a bottle of really good whiskey years ago, and just put it up my cupboard and forgot about it. And I was moving, and I was like, "Oh, well, I know Ron likes this, so I gave you a really nice bottle of whiskey." So that's that.
And I like the fact that you like to drive in the mornings, because I don't. And it maximizes our travel time, because you'll be like, hey, I get up at 6 a.m. for some bizarre unknown reason, but people do it, and I'm one of them. And that's just how I choose to live my life. And I'm like, all right, it's weird, but it takes all kinds. I'll wake up at like 10, and I'll take over driving after lunch or something. So that works well. If we were both not morning people, traveling would be a lot more difficult.
No, we are the perfect.
It's the perfect, because I'm the kind of guy where I'm just like, do you want to just hightail it now? It's like midnight, and I mean, I could drive for like 6 hours, watch the sun come up. You in for that? And then you're the kind of guy where it's just like, good morning, and I'm like, all right, tone that down. I got a thermos full of coffee, but I'm not touching that for a few hours, because no one should be awake right now. No one should do that. People do it. I don't know why, but all power to them.
The elephant in the room is our age difference, because the like older guys like, I'm not driving in the middle of the night like some kind of hooligan. I'm going to sleep on a normal bed. And then, you know, like any good old person, I wake up really early. And I'm just like, I'm always like, rise and shine. And you're just like,
just give me enough time to grab a yogurt and a coffee, and we'll get out of here.
Then,
I packed all my shit the night before. I'm ready.
That first, we start driving at like 8 or whatever, especially like, you know, we get back to the hotel around midnight or whatever after the gig. And then you will just sleep, which is fine. I'm like cranked up. I'm just cranking on the road. And then you'll wake up around 10. And it's usually, if there's some discussion we have, you usually have some really like pissed off, and I'm just like, wow, that thing made you that. And then you're just like, once you get your coffee, You're gold. Like literally, I remember was one thing. I was just like, "Gee, Ron, like
You're
I don't,
really fired up about this.
I don't think this guy really had it in for you." No, man, he was out. I was like, "Ron, really?" And then you just get your coffee, and you're like, "No, he's all right. It wasn't that big of a deal."
Well, and then we won't go into the details on this, but then if we're being totally honest, to bring it full circle, we found out way later that it was an honest mistake on my part, and I mean, nobody was in the wrong.
No one.
But it was just an honest mistake and miscommunication, and it was on me because I took it the wrong way for so long, and really there was a perfectly rational explanation that was like nobody's fault.
Yeah,
And
like,
I will always feel like a goofball for that. I will always be mildly embarrassed for the rest of my life, even though you and me and my wife are the only people who know what happened. I will always be embarrassed, and I'll always have to like own that. But yeah, that was my bad. I was wrong on that one. I made a mistake.
I'm usually the guy that gets worked up more out of the two of us about most stuff. But so, and the thing I love about Ron, very even, like one of the easiest guys I've ever gone on the road with, ever. Like, and we have the same political thing, and we like to do the show the same way in the venues, and we have this sort of similar, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like tastes or just the way we like stand up to be done, just the kind of the logistic and the technical stuff around it. And so really easy to get along with. And I love the conversations we have in the car. We always just like politics, sports, and comedy are the only what we talk about. And
some movies and music.
Yeah, and then there's
usually just one talking at the other.
So one guy, it's not a joke. It's so funny. And it'll happen probably to the day we die, where one of us will be fired up about our thing. For me, it's movies, and you'll have no idea what it is. And it's not, I feel like we're like doing a bit, but we're not. Like, and you're like, never heard that movie or watched. I don't even know what that is. And I'm like, what? And then literally you'll do it with the band. And I'm like, I don't know. Unless,
I'm probably worse though. Because it would be like me with movies. I mean, there's a lot of inexcusable blemishes on my movie resume that it's like, come on, dude, it would be the equivalent of you being like the Beatles. Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are those guys?
There are some where it'd be like, I've never heard of Led Zeppelin. And you'd be like,
right. Like, who is that? Who is like the Rolling Stores? Who's that? Is that a
Jimi Hendrix?
Is he still around? What's he doing?
He seems like he's having fun. What's he up to? Is he still around?
I kind of like that. That was neat sounding.
That sounds fun. Christopher Dobby. Oh, this is one I miss. It refers to a bird, Ron. Thank you, Christopher.
A bird.
A bird. Mike 389 1973, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. War is coming to our beloved country. We have over 1,200 miles of unmanned beaches, and the world's pissed at us. Prepare yourselves. It ain't gonna come from someone. It ain't gonna come from outside, man. It's gonna be. It's a civil war.
Everybody else is like, you guys get your shit together. We want nothing to. Don't come here. Actually, you can't come here. Figure your shit out. Yeah. Get your shit together. Just get it together. And we're like, I don't know if we can.
China has spent the last like 10, 15 years or so building green energy and spending money in Africa, not bombing them, not deposing dictators with their CIA, but like, oh, here's hospitals, here's a port, here's railroads. They've just done that. Because they're like, oh, they see the economic potential in Africa. And so they just spend money rather than like, oh, the Americans say, we got to go in and blow it up and kill everybody and set it on fire. And like China, that's how China is becoming an empire, is not blowing everybody up. And not that China doesn't have its problems and it's authoritarian, it is, but it's not using this iron fist. It's just like, we're going to buy everything and we're going to get everybody to buy our stuff. That's their whole philosophy. Just let's get the whole world to buy all of our stuff. rather than just we got to jam our American flag up everybody's rectum. Rectum sounded weird. Marco Smith, cracking my knuckles for the Canucks. Right on. Christopher Dobby again. Thank you, Christopher. Professor Steve Keen is asking for coverage on his new paper, Eviscerating Neoliberal Climate Change Policy. Consider an interview. Yeah, I'd have to do.
I like the title.
Yeah.
I think that would make a great paper or album, quite frankly, or movie. I'd watch that movie. I'd be rooting against neoliberalism.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and I also wanted to the previous commenter. I think right now I'm kind of pulling for the Canucks too. As far as the NHL is concerned, I think the Canucks are who I mean. I don't really have strong leanings anywhere. I'm just kind of watching the games, but I think Canucks are who I'm pulling for a little bit if I had to pick a team.
All right. My Blackhawks got knocked out in the second round. I'm glad they made it in the past the first. That was impressive to watch. Emberg 33, what's up, Mark? Could I please come on sometime to talk about my negative experiences with Greens People's Convention? Get your news on with PV. Oh, yeah, we could do that. We can talk about that, brother. Big Baby Zubas, what's up? Cocaine and lies. Sounds like every 80s party ever.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Hold on. Yeah, there's a bunch of super chats I got to get to. Sorry, everybody. This is something I love StreamYard. I'm so happy with it. And this is the thing I hope they can finally iron out, is because this just makes it a little clunkety.
They will. I mean, they've come a long way just in like how long they've been around. Like at first they really didn't have
right.
They really didn't have phones down, and they've come a long way on that. So
yeah. Jim Garrison, sound like Ron's personal JFK. Shave your knuckles for justice, Jim.
Is that about Toastergate?
Yeah, it is. Second toaster.
No comment.
That's all I'm going to say. Second toaster on the grassy knoll. Nobody talks about it. Smog Ruler, thoughts on Jesse Ventura on the Green Party Alaska ballot. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. You know, as I said at the top of the show, there's 402 people watching. Please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Ventura. So the Alaska Green Party broke ranks from the National Green Party. The National Green Party nominated Howie Hawkins. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that. I've talked about it a little bit, but I really just like Green Party corruption is it's just,
well, a lot of it is they said this, they said that. Like a lot of it is one side saying this, the other side saying that, and
I'm not fighting. It's not even worth time to talk about. So
it's just sad to see it happening because I want to see the Greens do well.
Sure. And
so it's sad that it's happening.
Is like, this is why movements don't move forward. Now you always have to ask, was private intelligence put in there? Because private intelligence, that's what they've been doing for decades now. We know this from J-Trig and leaked documents and Susie Dawson's 1 versus 5 Eyes videos that she did. They infiltrate to divide, and that's what they do to get everybody fighting with each other. Anyway, whatever. That happened. So they nominated Howie Hawkins, but then the Green Party of Alaska said nope, and they put on their ballot Jesse Ventura as the. So if you live in Alaska, you're going to get a ballot that's going to say Donald Trump Republican, Joe Biden Democrat, and Jesse Ventura is the Green, and you can vote for Jesse Ventura. If you live in Alaska, vote for Jesse Ventura. I think that'd be great if he just took one state.
Yeah,
should go to Donald Trump. Like, take it. I would love it if Jesse took a blue state too. I don't care. Like, take him. Show these two corrupt parties how awful they are. So if you live in Alaska, register to vote and vote for Jesse Ventura as a Green, like immediately. So thanks for bringing that up. Teresa 78201. Boom. Graham, you're just old enough to be interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bumble Puppy, thank you for supporting the show. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. 470 people watching. Louise Brooks, what's up, Louise? Risk my life to see the movie Tenet. Yeah, stay home and rewatch Black Panther.
Are movie theaters open again? Is that
in some parts of the country? They are.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, in some parts of the country they are.
I'm sure that's a good move. I'm sure that won't go wrong at all.
Nothing will go wrong. It's all working great. Sage and Fool, what's up, Sage and Fool? What do you guys think of the latest report from the CDC that shows only 6% of reported COVID deaths have no underlying condition, meaning 94% had other terminal potentials? I'll just say this in general, they're just, they're doing more and more research. There just needs to be more data. There's just so much stuff we don't know. And I want to ask, there's so many questions I don't think are being asked with people that get COVID. What's their diet? They just like pre-existing conditions. And what is that list? Emphysema, asthma, bronchitis or whatever, and maybe an autoimmune disorder. Okay. But like the people, especially that show no signs or asymptomatic, I want to know, like, do they drink? Do they smoke? Are they a vegetarian? Does that make a difference? Does being plant-based matter? Does it not? Does eating meat help it or not? Like, well, there's all these things.
There's so many unknowns.
So many.
I mean, the one thing about the statistic that that person pointed out, I mean, we do know, like, one of the things we pretty much at this point have consensus on is it does exacerbate other things that are wrong with you. So like people who have, that's why, like, even at the beginning, we were like the most vulnerable among us are the people who already have underlying health issues or are immunocompromised. They are the most vulnerable among us. As far as this virus is concerned, I think that has not changed. That is still the case. However, there have been instances where perfectly healthy young people have died from it. And then there have been instances where older people have beaten it fairly easily. I mean, there's so many unknowns and so many, like, we're trying to find what are the consistencies, what are the anomalies. And that's how science works. I mean, you got to do the research. You got to, analyze what happens and try to find conclusions. And it's going to evolve and it's going to change.
You're going to find conclusions that are going to be, rebuked or discounted later because you're going to get new data, new information. You're going to, we can't read this. This is what we know now, and it's this. And then later they're going to go, oh, actually, it wasn't that because we found out this new thing means it's something else. So that there's so much we know more than we did 6 months ago, but there's still so much we don't know.
I saw an interesting article, and again, this is just trying to connect the dots. This is a work in progress. That's how this stuff works. And this person was saying that a lot of it revolves around like the aerosols, and like they were talking specifically about being indoors. And one of the things that they brought up, they were like, look, if you want kids to go back to school so bad, what we should have done at the outset is we should have had the National Guard or whoever else building these huge, elaborate, ventilated tents on school grounds all across the country that's open as much as it can be, but still can kind of have some overhead from the elements should it rain or whatever. And that would be a safer way to go back to school, comparatively speaking, to being in the building at least. I mean, you still got a social distance, you still got to be masked up, but they were trying to draw these conclusions. And one of the things they pointed to was like, well, gee, why are we finding a commonality in small gatherings, but all these, protests and stuff like that, we're not really seeing as many outbreaks from that? And it's like, well, because it's outdoors, people are masked up, whereas in small gatherings, you're more likely to maybe hug your family member or whatever else it is. So they're still trying to like put those puzzles together.
Yeah. So it's hard to say, but it's interesting statistics. All right. I've been talking for almost 2 hours. Let me get through some of these super chats here. Harry C. Smith, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Do Americans know how heartbreaking it is to watch helplessly as our American friends tear yourselves and your country apart? There is so much love for the American people from the whole world. You're not alone. No, thank you, Harry. It's brutal. There's a lot of wonderful people in this country, and this America has done a lot of wonderful things, but it's also run by very wealthy, greedy, selfish, sinister people that do not give a shit. And if they've made profits from civil wars around the world, and then they're going to profit from this one here. And it's really hard to watch because it's like, this country could be so amazing. It could be so amazing, but it
really could be. And hey, Harry, a way that you can always help out, buddy, since you live elsewhere, you could turn one of those American friends into an American roommate. You know, I mean, you could always.
There's gonna be a lot of that, man. People are gonna
Just kidding, sort of.
Yeah. How come I'm not in my studio anymore? Anyway, Sage and Fool, what's up, Sage and Fool? Thank you for supporting the show. I miss you both on the Jimmy Dore show, man.
It sucks. It sucks not being able to be in studio. I mean, it's just so, man, being in studio, or even better, being at a live show, man, just such an electric feeling. And that's just not really, well, it's not possible right now at all. So yeah, it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. Anthony, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, motivate 100 milliliter non-voters, 100 million non-voters with unresolved write-in. I know, been trying to do that. Matt S, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. You guys planning a Saturday show again? Yeah, we're going to be working with Flappers. They're one of the clubs that we love that club. They've been very helpful for the Jimmy Dore show. Obviously, they've also been helpful for Ron and myself, and you know, we really want that club to stay open. So we're going to do one of our Zoom shows where the ticket sales will probably be like $7. Normally we charge $5. We're going to charge $7 and give it all to the venue to help them stay open.
Yeah, just to help the venue stay open, because they got, you know, we won't be running it ourselves. Their staff will be running it. So, you know, that's why it's got to be a little more than $5, but all the proceeds are going to go to help keep that club open. You know, I mean, we mentioned Save Our Stages. So, you know, this is the one of the venues that has approached us about trying to help out directly. So we're going to do it.
And we can, I mean, this is
the stage we can help.
You know, because of all of you, because we have this cool audience that you guys show up. We've raised so much money for so many great causes the last couple of months doing the Zoom shows. We figured, why not do it for a comedy club that we love, that's part of our industry. So we'll announce that date, you know, in the next couple.
As soon as we know it, as soon as we get it, we'll tell you.
Yeah, probably in the next couple of Saturdays, we'll be doing that.
You don't have to worry about location because it's going to be on the internet.
Yep. Crush Renata, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Have you heard about the Daniel Prude incident? No, I have not, but I will look at that article that you sent me. Thank you. Cat B, what's up, Cat? How you doing, sweetie? Hey, are you guys going to tune into Pete Buttigieg's new podcast? Oh, I don't get that channel. I don't get a receiver for it.
So I know a bunch of people were tweeting titles, and the title I tweeted out was I said it's called The Wine Cave, but spelled WHINE.
I saw that too. That
was my tweet. It's not funny when you say it. You got to read it, but like, yeah, I put The Wine Cave.
That is going to be, how awful is that podcast going to be?
It's going to be terrible.
Awful is it going to be? Just, I mean,
there is nothing interesting. That guy has nothing interesting to say.
What could they possibly? I would like. It's just the idea of
whatever happened to Hillary Clinton's podcast.
Oh God!
Like, is she still doing that?
I don't know. Maybe she's getting pizza with John Podesta. Miss Hendricks, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Ron, watch Flight of the Conchords and you will understand Aussie New Zealand rivalry. Also, where does Trump get off telling MAGAs to vote twice? Hashtag Banana Republic. Yep, we are a Banana Republic.
Banana Republic.
Not the good one with the clothes, the real one. Shayna Bell, what's up, Shayna? Trump only agreed with the CDC to postponing evictions to prevent millions of homeless people from flooding the streets right before the election. Yeah, I'm sure. He's not some noble guy. He's just going to do this to say, look what I did. And then after, if he wins again, he'll just be like, you're back on the street. Steve Mnuchin is going to kick you in the teeth and you're going to have to pay him for it. Antonio A. What's up, Antonio? What do you think of the Brett Weinstein and the Unity 2020 ticket nominating Tulsi Crenshaw? They addressed the lesser of two evil problem. Good luck. That's interesting. I didn't know that, but that's
I don't know anything about that.
I mean, you know, all these Tulsi and Bernie and AOC and Nina, all these people have had all this time to start this third party. They were all offered it 4 years ago.
Yeah, they were.
So
all of them.
You were there. So
I was there. I was there.
It just, I wouldn't hold my breath that any of these people within the Democratic Party are going to like really start one. I wish they would. I mean, Nina
you have to build it and then they will come. I mean, well, Nina is a little different because she's technically not on the inside right now. Yeah, she's to some extent an outsider right now. So Nina Turner is a little bit different. But as far as the sitting Congress members, sitting Senate members, You have to build it. And I think there's a chance some of them will move over. I think there's a chance that if we have a multi-party system, which I think is what they would try to do, if they see a threat to the duopoly, they might just buckle and say, well, we got to do ranked choice voting. We got to do this and that, because otherwise we're going to lose out. And then we'll have, a system with 4 or 5 parties instead of 2, like a lot of other countries have. And then what you would start to see is alliances between the progressives that have infiltrated the Democratic Party and, Movement for a People's Party or the Greens. And that's why when people, sometimes people, they feel like you can only be happy about one thing or only want one thing. And if you deviate from that one thing, you're wrong. So people are like, well, Ron, why were you happy Cory Bush won, even though you advocate for a new party? That's why. Because when we build that new party, someone like a Cory Bush could form an alliance with the new party.
Yep. Sage and Fool, making Gotham great again. Sage and Fool. People are so focused on the election, the virus, the left-right divide, they don't understand the only way to shut the system down is money. Take your money out of the bank, buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin. I know. That's why I'm really starting to get more knowledgeable, and I'm getting into crypto, because crypto is how we get our power back, because crypto is decentralized. And when the dollar is worth, a bag of old socks because they keep printing trillions of dollars, it'll be crypto that'll be worth something. It's decentralized. It's blockchain. Nobody controls it. You can kind of manipulate cryptocurrencies like you can any sort of tradable thing, but you can't just flat out rig it the way the Federal Reserve does with interest rates and the dollar and everything else. So I firmly agree, man. Like, everyone's like thinks the election is this is the be all, and there's so many other ways. Crypto is revolutionizing people in the third world. There's billions of people that are unbanked. They don't have access to banking, but they have a smartphone, and they're now empowering themselves with crypto. And so it's like there's so many powerful, positive things, and crypto is a huge threat to these banks. That's why they're talking about, starting their own crypto. The United States is thinking about, like, Japan is going to have the Japanese yen crypto, basically, and other countries are realizing this.
So the United States is going to be like, we got to ruin this. They're building something good. We got to fuck this up. How can we fuck this up for the entire world?
But they can't. That's the beautiful
thing. They're going to try. They're going to try.
Absolutely.
That's how these things work. I mean, don't write them off, Graham. You think there's not a way. If there is, they'll fucking find it. That's when they're good at stuff.
You're right. I don't want to give up hope that they'll fuck it up.
They have managed to ruin a lot of things.
Dare I say, almost everything.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Kate, what's up, Kate? You're awesome. Figured out what drugs Biden gets for appearances? No, I have not. I do not know. Sky's not the limit. Hello, Sky's not the limit. Thank you for supporting the show. Did you see Musk's crazy Neuralink implant video? Those people are out of their minds. Yeah, they want us to take some. They're out of their minds. Shayna Bell, what's up, Shayna? Are you single, Graham? Yes, I am. Very much so. Like painfully so. RBU 83145, Shaving Uncles for Justice. Many years ago, I traveled around the U.S. and occasionally met people who make derogatory comments about anyone with a Pittsburgh accent. Isn't Rob from there? Love his accent either way.
Thank you. I am from there. I don't know if I have one or not. People have told me that I don't, but occasionally, like certain vowels, I'll hear it. So
it sneaks out every once in a while. It's like my Chicago doesn't really come out that much anymore. If I get mad or I'm talking with Jimmy, it comes out more. But
well, it's because 2 of you are in the room at the same time. 2 Chicago guys.
Yeah.
So like one of you does it, and then the other one will.
I heard more of the Pittsburgh, definitely at your guys' wedding. I was like, wow, it was flying around because your dad.
My dad has it. Yeah, my mom and dad have it big time. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know that I can't do the Pittsburgh accent, but I know it when I hear it.
It's funny, if I try to do it, it'll just sound goofy, but I will naturally do it occasionally. Like occasionally you'll hear it. But if I try to do it, I'm like, Graham, you want to go down to the bar and that? It doesn't sound natural at all. But occasionally I'll naturally do it a little bit.
All right, we got a lot of these down. Matt S. Shave your knuckles, Matt. What does defund the police mean to you guys? Full lack or police or modified reform? To me, defund the police, and people hear that, oh, so we're just going to get rid of police, no money, and no, that's not what we're talking about. I always use this example. I always use LAPD as the very kind of, this is just the broad strokes of it. Obviously, this is something that in an actual democracy, people discuss and debate and come up with the best solution. But let's use Los Angeles. They spend $3.1 billion on LAPD, which is 54% of LA's operating budget. This is how I would use, or how I see, and what I mean by defund the police. So first of all, let's just use round numbers here. Let's just cut that budget in half, right? So we take $1.5 billion away from LAPD. That $1.5 billion goes for homeless and deals with all of the things that every police department has to deal with that they shouldn't. So we get homeless people off the street. Because right now we spend a lot of money dealing with the homeless, and it's more expensive to the crime, the cleanup, the fights, all of it. People constantly calling, there's homeless people breaking into this, and they're sleeping outside of my business, and blah, blah, blah. Cops are always having to respond to that. So you deal with the homeless. You do the Housing First program that we've talked about on this show that came from Finland, and now is also being used in Utah, where they've realized that a bad homeless program a little over 10 years ago. And they realized that, homeless are caught in a catch-22. They can't get a house, they can't get a residence because they don't have a job, and they can't get a job because they don't have a residence. So what they did was they said, we're going to give them homes first, not a cot in a shelter, but like an apartment, a studio or one-bedroom apartment. And in this, government facility, job training, mental health, drug treatment, all this stuff. Give people home, get them on their feet, give them dignity. Clothes, showers, that stuff's important. You can't go get a job if you're living on the street. You smell, you don't have good clothes to wear. You can't shave or what, come on. And then anyone who's dealing with drugs or mental illness or whatever would get that. And then what they found is 4 out of 5 people got integrated back into society, jobs, homes, paying taxes. So 80%, they had an 80% success rate. And they found out also too, over years, it was cheaper than the system that we're still doing in America, right? So you take that $1.5 billion that you take away from the LAPD and you put it into those programs, which then takes those jobs. The cops don't need to do that. And then the 1.5 that the police department does get, they're not spending it on riot gear and rubber bullets and up armored vehicles and military grade equipment. They're doing stuff like we have, and of that 1.5 that was, you have like peace officers, you have traffic officers that aren't cops with guns and shotguns and squad cars. It's just a traffic officer who pulls you over and says, hey, you ran that red light or you were speeding. We want you to go to traffic school. We want you to become a better driver to keep the roads safer. And you got to, to go to traffic school or you pay this fine or whatever. And it's not this invasive, scared thing like this, someone's going to shoot me if I disagree with them. They're just going to, and all of the stuff. There's homeless outreach. There's, and you have, yes, you would keep cops for like a bank robber, an armed robbery, organized crime, sex trafficking. Obviously, you would have cops and investigators in the same form that we have. But even the beat cop doesn't have a gun on their hip. They have a gun in their squad car if some shit goes down, but they're not walking around with a thing to scare and kill people with. So that's like how I see it. Ron, I know you've got some ideas about that too.
Yeah, no, and they're very similar. I mean, yeah, when we say defund the police, we don't literally mean there is no more police, there is no law enforcement in our lives, and if there's an emergency, we have nobody to call. What we mean is, again, yeah, reallocating those resources, cutting their money, and again, it's very typical that they're getting over half the city budget. And what are they getting it for? Is it to actually help people? No, it's to militarize the police. Right. It's spent on tanks and rubber bullets. And which, by the way, that's another thing California failed to pass. There was an ordinance saying, hey, you can't use tear gas and rubber bullets on citizens anymore. That didn't pass. But I digress. And yeah, I think we need to go a step further and kind of abolish the idea of the police as we know it. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that we're not going to have any law enforcement in our lives. What I mean by that is kind of what Graham was saying. We need to rethink of what it means to be a police officer. And it's absolutely ridiculous that someone's expected to do all these things. Why is the same person who pulls you over for a busted taillight the same person that has to then go respond to a live shooter or some situation like that? It makes zero sense.
Right.
There should be departments. There should be traffic officers and peace officers who respond to a noise complaint or like a nonviolent, situation where you just need a third party mediary. And there should be social service workers who are involved with them and collaborate with them. And they should be funded too, instead of buying tanks and military equipment. So, yeah. And then I think I go a step further, and I think there should actually be, there should be a subset of, police that is just focused on emergency situations where force is absolutely, completely 100% unavoidable. Yeah. And I wrote out a bill of like what I would do if I was like the emperor of Citiesville, like what I would do as far as law enforcement is concerned. And those people are only deployed in situations where there's like a live bank robbery, an armed bank robbery, or there's like a, domestic violence dispute, hostage situation, a live shooter. That's when you send in these folks who are basically Marines. These are people who they train for that and only that. They spend their day. Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't wouldn't that be a safer world for we the people? And wouldn't that be a safer world for everybody involved? Why would you want, if there's a live shooter, why would you want somebody who is poorly trained, maybe has all kinds of PTSD, is just going to shoot whatever moves? Why would you want that person responding to that situation? Why wouldn't you want someone who's very thoroughly trained and an expert in handling a situation like that? And that is what their job requires them to be ready for.
Yeah, we have the parking. We're not asking meter maids to go do this kind of crap. Meter maids just enforce parking. That's it.
Right. So why not just have that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have. Yeah.
That's how we would. That's. And there's a lot of great ideas and theories out there, and I'm open to whatever version of this makes the most sense. Because I don't know. This isn't my area of expertise. So maybe someone's like, well, we need this, and this. I'd be okay. Great. Sure. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us has all the answers, but we both know that the way we're doing it now is beyond shitty.
Yeah.
And like, it's time to come up with something new.
And no incremental reform bullshit. None of that.
It's too late. It's too late. That ship has sailed long time ago.
Big baby Zubas. Mox News posted this video of the Seattle mayor and interim police chief. They talked about reforming police unions and a lot of stuff. 30 minutes worth it. Okay, good to hear. Big baby Zubas again. That Kyle kid sucked into a bad ideology. So said, yeah, he was born into a crazy home. Let's say he was born into a cult. And when who knows if he's in prison, what's going to happen? Like, hopefully down the road, he'll wake up and go, man, I was brainwashed. He was brainwashed. Just like if you were in a cult, he was brainwashed. Like, to just feel like, who's telling a 17-year-old kid to go get a gun and go down to this thing? Who told that? He was brainwashed.
And that doesn't excuse what he did, but it's just a very sad situation through and through.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, there it is. All right. Now I think we're caught up. Thomas Jose, shave your knuckles for justice. Thanks, Graham and Ron, for your insight. Quick question for you too. Can you individually please name 3 significant changes that could potentially happen if the D's win, and contrast if the R's win in 2020 through 24? I mean, all right, if the D's win, meaning like if Biden wins and them, okay, they'll protect Roe v. Wade. They'll keep Ruth, they'll protect the Supreme Court, which even Ruth Bader Ginsburg and them have voted for conservative war things and surveillance. So they will protect Obamacare, and they'll call that a big victory. Rather than give us Medicare for all, they'll go, oh, we saved Obamacare from the Republicans. So it'll just be more this incremental Band-Aid bullshit, and there'll be no real change. They won't do anything about climate change. They won't defund the police. They won't scale down the military. They won't do it. They won't do it. So there'll be those will be those handful of things, and those things are enough to make the voting in blue go, yeah, but we got to save the Supreme Court. And it's like, you don't want any real change. So those are my things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think those are three pretty solid things. And if the Republicans win, well, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be fed up beyond comprehension. But I think you're going to have a lot of that no matter what. I think politically, you're going to see an extension of the tax breaks. You would definitely see that. I think that you would see, what else would they probably do? I think they would roll back more environmental standards, because they're gonna lean on the whole, we got to really, they're gonna be able to lean on, we got to give a shot in the arm to the economy.
Deregulate. They're going to lean on that.
Yeah,
Deregulation is good for the economy.
They're gonna completely deregulate. Any and what little environmental protections we had are probably just going to be gone. And then likely in the midterms, I mean, if Trump wins again in 2022, I mean, the Democrats should be able to, I mean, although there is no institution better at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory than the Democratic Party. But I think if Trump wins again in 2022, I see the Democrats getting a bigger control of the House, getting more control of the House, and getting control of the Senate too, which would presumably make Donald Trump a lame duck for, at least half of his term. So, I mean, there's not a lot to be optimistic about as far as the White House is concerned, but that's kind of just a crash course on what could potentially happen. And again, it's potentially, we don't know for sure.
Yeah. Two corrupt parties that'll just be half a shit sandwich on rye or half a shit sandwich on sourdough. Those are your choices. Marco Gonzalez, thank you for supporting the show, Marco. Really appreciate all the support, everybody. Really appreciate this. See, now it just jumped on me. StreamYard. Marco Gonzalez. Ron, tell us an anti-flag story.
Okay. I can do that if you want. Justin, the singer from Anti-Flag, was at this bar in Pittsburgh one time when I was there, and I did a set, and he laughed. I made him laugh, and he came over and introduced himself, and I was like, dude, I know who you are. I've been listening to your band most of my life. And then we all went out to a bar after and just kind of talked politics, because he's a pretty big lefty guy. And I've since reached out to him. I don't know if he remembers that we met, because it was years and years ago, and I was 70 pounds heavier than I am now, and I did not wear glasses. So I have no idea if he remembers meeting me, or if he does remember, if he would connect that, that was you. But I've since messaged him a few times. I've been trying to get him to do the show, and he said he's interested, but we just haven't been able to nail it down. So that's the only personal anti-flag story I got.
All right. CR, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. What up from Santa Cruz, formerly What Up Moss Beach. Keep up the good work. Boom guns, vegan guns, kids. Sparky, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. More Deep State Dan. Sparky again. Is Ron really Ron, or is he Deep State Dan? I think deep down,
we'll
Ron
never know.
Sparky
is the Toastergate leader. Sparky is he's the moderator of all the Toastergate message boards.
Toaster number 7. Sparky again. Who cares what Trump's motivation is? That's an excellent point, Sparky. Sparky again. Coins equal money. Federal Reserve notes equals debt equals coin shortage. You got that right. Hold on. Oh, there it is, Antonio A. Okay. Where is Antonio A. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Articles of Unity is the YouTube channel for Unity 2020. Okay, good to know. Brett Weinstein, Dark Horse Podcast talks about Unity 2020. Jesse Ventura was on their pod. Ooh. All right, good to hear. Good to know. Sorry, Nays, it jumped up on me. This is a little. I wish StreamYard would do this. All right. Sorry, Nays Garden. Nays Garden, what's up? Check out his podcast. We've both been on it. Shatner singing Frampton's "Do You Feel Like I Do?" Good idea. I know you sold it to me. Just needed a way to send you cash for being awesome. Oh, Nays, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, man. And I know I've just been moving and traveling, so but I know you DM me on Twitter. We'll set up a time. I'll come on your show. We'll talk about all that. I appreciate it. Just give me a little time. Maybe next week. I'm sorry if I'm a little late in responding to stuff, but love the show, what you're doing. Go check out Nays Garden. Sparky again. Ron hasn't seen Deer Hunter, so Pennsylvania deported him. Yep.
It's possible. Yeah, they made me leave.
That's one of those movies where we're like, Ron, how come you didn't?
Come on. I know. I haven't seen it.
Nays Garden, what's up? I have a bill I co-wrote for Congress to end police brutality. I tweeted it at you guys. Oh, right on.
I read it.
Ron read that. Well, Nays, that's something we'll talk about when I come on your show, brother. In addition to singing Frampton's
singing all of Frampton.
All of Frampton.
We'll talk about Bill and sing his entire catalog.
I'm beginning to lose my voice because I've been talking for 2 hours straight. But yes, I'm going to do the whole Frampton songbook. Louise Brooks, what's up, Louise? Thank you for supporting the show. You're always it's so great to see so many familiar faces. You guys come and support, and then the new folks that come to the show, please hit the subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And even if you think you've subscribed, make sure because they're unsubscribing people. We're stuck at like 71,600 or something. Let's get that over 72,000. I really want to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. And if YouTube wasn't messing with me, I know it would be possible, but that's a great way to help out. Louise, I've been in victim services for 20 years. We can de-escalate situations without guns. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Amen. Absolutely.
Somebody posted this, like nurses and ER doctors and nurses deal with violent people all the time. They don't shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
They de-escalate. And okay, sometimes they got to, give a medication.
Restrain somebody. Yeah.
Okay, they got to restrain somebody. They got to say, hey, but they don't go, shut down. They go, it's okay. We got you. It's okay. Like, it's so doable. Our first reaction is to respond with force. Just kick the door in and start shooting. It's insane. Spectrum 86, boom. Don't watch TV anymore, Graham. You and Ron keep an old boomer going. Oh, I love that. Thanks for joining our show. Like, you could be watching some bullshit on CNN right now, but instead you're watching Ron and I.
Bullshit.
Talk nonsense. Sparky, what's up? If Graham had listened to MC Tar and Feather mobs, he may have prevented the real violence. Nothing like political vigilante to MC a tar and feather mob. Yes, I should have doubled down on tar and feathering people. You're right, Sparky. I'll own that one. That's on me.
That's on you.
Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure we're over 400 likes, if not more. We just got one. Kate, how's Darien? Hey guys, Darien here. Just like doing a lot of, reflecting during the quarantine. And, I'm making a lot of masks. So thoughts and masks and socially distancing, especially since Todd and I broke up. So it's okay. I'm okay with it, thoughts and Todds. So totally, you guys just remember to always be thoughts and vibes, and totally we're totally social distancing. But if you want to non-social distance, we're not shaming that either, you guys, because whatever, as long as you're distancing, it doesn't have to be social. I don't want people to feel like they're being like yelled at or whatever. So thoughts and quarantines, you guys. There you go. There's Darian.
Thoughts and quarantines.
Thoughts and quarantines. Christopher Walker, boom. NBA playoffs are great and proud of the league. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I'm glad when they did that. I'm glad when they I think they should have shut the whole league down personally. I mean, I was really proud of the NBA when they did that, and then the WNBA did the same thing, and some Major League Baseball teams did it as well. I was kind of like,
I wish all of them would.
I wish they would just shut down.
I wish they would just shut down everything, and it's just like, all right, we'll come back and play as soon as police brutality is over. Until then, no basketball, no football, no soccer, no hockey. That one hurts. That one hurts, but I'm still for it.
I mean, if you shut all this revenue, I mean, I was hoping they were going to say we're done. We're going on strike. They didn't play for 3 days, which was good. It was good, but it's like again,
because Obama called.
Oh,
Obama, come on.
Come on, Matt. I mean, let's be clear. The owners of all these professional sports teams, with few exceptions, are all billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Michael Jordan is the only like majority owner of any team in the NBA that's black. Everybody else is white. In the NBA, which is something like 75 or 80% black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're billionaires, and they just want to put some Black Lives Matter slogans and T-shirts and hope that this problem goes away. But all they care about is money, and the only way to really affect change is to stop them financially. If you shut down all of these leagues and said, "Hey, billionaire owners and all you big sponsor companies, Nike, Adidas, Gatorade, you better lean on these governments to make some real changes, or it's over." Because I say this example all the time. Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Washington Redskins, has said for years, "I'm not changing the name. I don't care that it's racist. It's part of our history," for years. And all of a sudden, everybody pressures FedEx, which is the name of their stadium, that gives them somewhere in the neighborhood, it's $500 million to $1 billion licensing deal. And everybody pressured them during all the George Floyd stuff and said, "We're done." And FedEx said, "You better change the name or we pull our money." And Daniel Snyder's like, "Okay, you got it."
Mm-hmm.
And that ended that. So the players have so much money and so much power. They have so much leverage. They're still employees. They're millionaires working for billionaires. They have all this power. Nobody wants to watch the owners of any sports league play. They want to watch the ball players, man. And look, I love watching baseball and basketball, and I love the WNBA. But if they all really just said, "We're shutting our seasons down indefinitely until some real change happens," I would support it 100%. I wish they would have done that. Nay's Garden. Dude, what's up, Nay? Brother, thank you for the support. Please check out Nay's Garden, everybody. It's a fun show, and he talks about anything weed. He's your man. Shave your knuckles for justice, Graham and Ron. Nays, thank you so much for the big support. I really appreciate it. And, you know, I understand a lot of people out there, the money is tight. And if you cannot support the show financially, don't feel bad. $1 helps, or just the free ways to support the show. And so then when somebody like Nays throws down a big donation, and several of you have done it tonight, and I really appreciate it, you're helping pay for people that can't, that still want to support the show. I'm totally viewer funded. I don't get money from any of the big corporations. I mean, there's the clickable ads on YouTube, and I get some money from that, but the majority of it is from y'all. So Nays, you're helping other people who are going through a tough time right now. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate this sense of community and everybody working together, man. It gives me hope when there's all this darkness going down. KT, how would you theorize the current state of the USA if Britain won the British-American War? Interesting. Interesting.
We might have healthcare.
Yeah.
Had that happened.
Yeah, we probably would. We probably would have healthcare.
No, we're definitely going through a really rough patch. There's no two ways around it. I mean, this is, I never thought I'd see anything like this in my lifetime. I mean, it's just absolutely brutal, and it's really making people come to terms with with what the United States is contemporarily. And it's just not a very good country. And that's putting it gently.
Yeah.
And, you gotta, I really have hope that we can do better. I think that the American people are very, they've really done. The one glimmer of hope is how communities have responded as far as how they're looking out for each other. And, I can hope we can open a better chapter, and, we're going to try to make that happen. But there's kind of no getting around that this is, we're in really bad shape, just as far as how we've been behaving as a country and what we've been doing. So,
hey, Ron, you tell everybody how to watch your show. I got to check something real quick.
Okay. Guys, you can check me out on the internet over at YouTube. Wait, no, did I do it right? I did do it right. YouTube.com/Ron Placone. Please do subscribe to my channel. I stream every Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, where I do my show, Get Your News On with Ron. And you can also support me over on the Patreon. That is patreon.com/Ron Placone. My Patreon is a give what you can model. So whatever amount you're comfortable giving, you get all the same stuff. All my posts are for everybody. And one of the fun perks I got going right now that a lot of people have enjoyed is I'm making people their own theme songs. I've made theme songs for my patrons. Basically, they tell me their name and kind of what they want in the theme song, and then I make them a theme song. I've done one for a couple, like I did one for a married couple. That was really fun. Some people, they wanted it for their job, and I've done them a theme song based on their job. Some people, they wanted it just because they like to party and smoke pot, and so I did one for that. It's been really, really cool. It's a really fun perk. So if you ever wanted your own theme song, you can become a Ron Placone patron for a Give What You Can level, and that's just patreon.com/Ron Placone. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ron Placone, where I stream every Monday through Wednesday and drop other short videos like the college roommates that some people referenced earlier.
Right on. Thank you, Ron Placone, ladies and gentlemen. And again, like, I don't know if Ron mentioned this, but, as soon as we get the date that we're doing the Zoom show with Flappers, we would definitely let all of you know about that. Sparky, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. No bread and circuses may backfire on establishment. I know. It's interesting to see what's going to happen, man. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. Okay. Tumblebug, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. You got me with the helping others thing. Glad to be a new Patreon supporter of yours and Ron's. Oh, thank you so much. It's the Patreons and the super chats here. Really, that's how we are able to do our shows. And like when the pandemic hit, all of Ron and I had tour dates through October from, March through, and they all got canceled, and we're not going on the road till probably next summer. So we both have had to make our respective YouTube shows our full-time jobs. And so you all are making this happen, and yeah. It's huge. And so we really appreciate it. And all the little things too, anyone whose money is tight. I always say, like, watch our ads. When you watch us on YouTube, the clips, watch the ads all the way through. When you click skip ad, we don't get paid. And why we hammer hit the like button and the subscribe button and the bell notification, all those analytics help. Sharing the videos on your social media helps. And then patreon.com and Rockfin. We're both on Rockfin. Here's another great thing about Rockfin. If you just do the $10 a month on Rockfin, you get all of Ron's premium content, all of my premium content. You get Richard Madhurst, you get Convo Couch, Nico House, Kim Iverson, Jimmy Doors on there now. Dave Anthony's The Dollop Guy is starting to put stuff on there. So there's just a lot of cool shit. So thank you for doing that. Nace Garden again. Here's 100 from the audience. Oh, dude. What's up, man? Thank you so much. Thank you, Nace. That's really awesome. Thanks for the big love, man. I really appreciate it. And I love doing the show. And I took a week off, and it's nice to be back. Let's see who else we got here. And then I gotta eat. I'm fucking dying. I love doing the show, and I like standing when I do it, but I get so tired and hungry by the end of it.
Yeah, man. Been on a while.
Harry C. Smith, shave your knuckles for justice. You hear they just rescued 39 children from sex traffickers just a few days ago. Fox News was the only ones to even effing cover it. No, I did not, dude. I will find that story and I will cover it.
I saw the headline, but I haven't seen all the details. But yeah, apparently in Georgia, they found some. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me about that. Yeah, I'll cover
Yeah,
it.
I haven't looked into the details myself, but I did see the headline.
I'll cover it and I'll just see if there's any familiar names. That's with the sex trafficking. I guarantee you, I'll bet you there's something in there that ties into somebody we've already talked about. I almost could guarantee it, man. Oh, there's one I missed. Matt S., what's up? That was great. Welcome back. Thank you, Matt. It's great. Thank you for supporting the show. It's great to see everybody on the show. Nace Carton again. Dude, did you win the lottery? Damn, brother. I appreciate it. I hope you're not so baked you wake up tomorrow and go, oh no, what did I what did I do? Imagine if people who benefited from the top 1% actually did trickle it down. The problem is the system does not work. That system does not work. I wish more people were like me, but they aren't. So I vote progressive. Oh, right on, brother.
Thanks, man. It's really cool.
You. No, it's cool. And it's a way to lead by example. Like if you've done well for yourself, you should, I mean, the old days, I mean, even though like, I'm not like saying these were good, like wonderful people, but like, you know, the Rockefeller, that generation, they did a lot of horrific shit, but they also believe like, oh, you got to build a children's hospital. You got to give money. Like that's what like tithing is a part of like every religion and every culture. You're supposed to help. But now it's like, no, I ain't helping Bezos. I ain't helping anybody. The only reason I'm writing to charity if it's a tax break or it buys me favor with politicians or something. They don't give a shit at all. So good for you for, you know, that's, we all gotta do that, man. We all gotta share the wealth. Elon Rothman, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you so much, folks. Really appreciate it. Please focus on Julian Assange in the next few days, his sham court case next few days. He's a human being, father, and a hero. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I got an email from Tariq Haddad, and I'm going to reach out to him because he's been really at the forefront of covering this. So I will get Tariq on the show to discuss specifically this upcoming court case and what's happening and how they've kept him in Belmarsh prison when everybody's got COVID there and all the bullshit. But there was a thing that came up today. I didn't even get a chance to get to it, but I'll cover it tomorrow that Edward Snowden tweeted out. But I will absolutely cover Julian Assange. I have in the past. I have a whole Julian Assange playlist. So please watch that and we will cover what is going down. So thank you for reminding us that. And thank you for the big donation. I really appreciate it. Graham, you should talk to Sam Tripoli. Oh, yeah, I know Sam. Deep State Dan, tell your colleagues, free Assange. Absolutely, Sparky. Absolutely. Wow, you guys are so awesome and supportive. This is really, it's so great. Really nice fans. You guys are awesome. I love this community we've built. I've been doing this show for over 3.5 years. I started with 164 subscribers. We've now got almost 72,000, and it's just great. Graham, have you seen Bill Benny on Jimmy's show? You must. Absolutely. All right. Oh, all right. What are we singing, Ron? We're going to sing, what was the song again? It was the,
I don't think I know it. The one that was recommended. I mean, I'm sure I could fake my way through it as Eddie Vedder, but I don't know if I was familiar with it off the top of my head.
Ruler song. All right.
I forget what they said though.
Yeah. You guys should rag on Haspel and Pompeo more. Why? They're such good people. It's not nice. Hey, Mayor, shave your knuckles for justice. Ron, can you talk about your amazing interview with Red today? Think I've watched it 20 times. Just makes me feel better about the world.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I today on my show I had a mutual aid organizer in North Seattle. His name is Red, and he works for an organization called the Community Relief Corps.
And what they do is they just do mutual aid in North Seattle. And, mutual aid is one of those concepts, I'm familiar with the concept, but I've never really just had a long conversation with somebody who really does that and lives that life. So he was recommended to me. So I had him on the show today, and you can find that interview on my YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Ron Placone. Oh, I did it wrong. But yeah, youtube.com/Ron Placone. And you can also get it on my podcast, the Get Your News On with Ron podcast, which you can get wherever you get podcasts or on Rockfin or wherever else. So yeah, he was on the show today, and it was a really interesting conversation. It was very, very interesting. He was a very inspiring guy, very passionate guy. It was an emotional interview because that work is very, it's very selfless, and it's very noble, and it's very essential, and it's really heavy when, especially there were parts in that interview when he was saying, just the reality of what it's really like for him out there. And so yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Amares. I really enjoyed doing it. And if anyone else wants to check that out, again, that's where you can get it. So did Graham leave? Is he?
No, I just sat down. I'm so tired and hungry. Okay. Yeah, Graham, I gotta go. Later, bro.
All right, man. Finish up. Finish it up.
What do we want to sing? Let's see. What's a good Eddie Vedder song?
What's not a good Eddie Vedder song? I mean, anything's fun. I mean, my original, the original thing I ever sang as Eddie Vedder was "I Want You to Want Me" by Cheap Trick. But we've done that before, haven't we?
I don't think
we haven't. All right. I mean, that's why I forget what that person recommended earlier, but I don't think
it's a song you don't know. So if you don't know it, it kind of like we both have to know the song, because I've had people suggest, like, I don't know it. You got to kind of know the rhythm and the cadence of it to make it funny. What about Viva Las Vegas as Eddie Vedder? You know the Elvis song Viva Las Vegas? Ron, what happened? Ron froze. Oh, Ron froze. Wow. Free Julian Assange, absolutely. Ron doesn't know every sperm is sacred, or kind of does. Oh, we just lost Ron. Ron just froze up. All right. Well, then I'm going to sing. All right. Yeah, Ron. Ron bailed on singing. He just said, I'm out. Viva Las Vegas. You guys want Viva Las Vegas as Shatner or Eddie Vedder? I think Eddie Vedder. Let's do Eddie Vedder. Ron just left. Ron just quit. He quit on karaoke. Ron has abandoned us all. Nays Garden, what's up, brother? Graham, have you used the triage oil at all? Yes, I have used your triage. That's the other thing. Go to triageoil.com. I've used that on some like irritable areas of my skin. I've had psoriasis since I was a kid. Fuck, great. A triage oil is awesome. It's awesome. Check it out. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. All right. Oh, I'm so hungry. All right, we're gonna do. I've been talking for almost 3 hours.
What's the first ingredient in Smucker's Natural Strawberry? Very smart, Greg. Very smart.
Okay, hold on. I know I gotta do. I've never done. I gotta do it this way. Oh, I know. Ron, you there?
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but my computer just kind of went blank for a second. I don't know if it was too hot or what, but
Ron, if you don't want to sing, you don't have to make up excuses.
Yeah, right.
Leave.
I'm ready to sing. What are we singing?
You know Viva Las Vegas, the Elvis song?
Of course.
All right, we're gonna do it as Eddie Vedder.
I don't know. I don't think I know the verses, but I know the important part.
Doesn't matter. I'm sharing the screen. You see it?
Yep.
All right, buddy. Here we go. Wait, come on. Hold on. I'll go first. Black Cloud City gonna set my soul on fire. Now you.
Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn, so get those stakes up high.
There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there. They're all living the devil may care.
And I'm just a devil with love to spare, so viva! Viva!
How I wish that there were more than the 24 hours in the day.
Now, even if there were 40 more, I want to see how many away here.
Well, there's blackjack and poker and the who has real. Important health, everything deal.
All you need is a strong heart and never steer. So reverse your
We have all figures, we don't need all in flashing and no head all in crashing and all of people care of me.
Viva Las Vegas, turning day into night. I'm dirty, not in the day. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again.
I'm gonna keep on here, have some fun, because me my very last time.
If I wonder, well, I'll always remember that time I had a swinging her.
I'm gonna give it here, and I'm gonna he luck me let no doubt play out.
You shoot a 7 with every shot. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Oh, viva!
Viva! Oh, viva! Viva! Oh, fantastic, Ron. Fantastic. That was gold. That was pure gold. I want to thank everybody for there's some super chats that came in. Hold on. How I wish there were more than 24 hours in a day. I can't read that name, but super sticker looks like it's maybe in another language. But thank you so much for supporting the show. Super sticker again. Boom. Shave your
A lot of
knuckles.
super stickers.
Something 13. 13. All right. That was our show, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to Ron Placone. What's your website again, Ron?
RonPlacone.com and YouTube.com/ I did it again. YouTube.com/RonPlacone. Subscribe to my channel. Check it out.
Thanks, everybody, for watching the show. We got 440 likes. It'd be great if we got that over 500 in this last second here. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show. Really appreciate all the big donations from everybody. Appreciate it. Even the small ones. Every way you can support the show. Patreon, all that stuff. I'm revamping my online store, so there's no products for sale right now at GrahamElwood.com, but that'll change in the next couple of weeks. And of course, Ron and I will make the announcement whenever we have the Zoom show at Flappers. So check it out. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you're all making Gotham great again. You're all political vigilantes, and shave your knuckles for justice.